coffee because we don't need you. The U.S. is actually really pretty darn powerful. We don't need you, Europe. Maybe you're starting to get the hint. I know that here in the UK, they're very worried about that trade agreement being ripped up by Donald Trump, and it could happen. I mean, they're already out in the cold given Brexit, etc., so they're getting kind of nervous, on top of which now they are helping to lead the charge alongside Germany for a post-U.S. NATO. Because Donald Trump has said over and over and over again, he's really not too happy with NATO. And why should he be? Did you see this chart? This is a good one here. You've got the United States of America contributing nearly $1 trillion last year, while the rest of these schmoes are contributing like barely anything. I mean, how is it that Spain gets away with $36 billion and we're contributing nearly $1 trillion? I realize they're a tiny little itsy-bitsy economy, but come on, enough already. At least if we're going to spend that much money for NATO, and we're actually going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on our bases there in any given year, which is meaningful for your GDP and those communities in those bases. Hey, at least let us use the bases when push comes to shove. But they wouldn't. No, Spain said you can't use them. And that in and of itself, I think, is highly problematic. I'm talking about the Spains. I was just there over the weekend nearby.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Oh, I can say great Monday.
I keep saying this, but I kind of have some fun with it. You can't remember. It's moron. In English, not really, but it's just an easy way to remember. It's kind of like when I couldn't remember Timmy Mynet's name. That's Ilhan Omar's husband. And it was like, Mynet. Oh, yeah, she realized my net worth is going up as soon as I marry this guy, right? So I have little ways of remembering things. In my case, I do speak Spanish, but for you, just remember moron. So Morón and Rota, those are the two areas there, jointly operated bases where we have poured all this money in. But because Spain, which also has a lot of soft influence, including in the media, from the likes of Iran, they've spent a little money there over the years, and they do have an influence campaign going on. Well, now the politicians don't feel that they can embrace what the U.S. is doing. I mean, all through Europe, you're seeing this, right? Because they also have populations that are very tied to some of the ideals that govern Iran, and consequently, they don't feel that they can get elected, I guess, unless they come out and say, oh, this is America's war. This is Israel's war. It's not our war. Even though you kind of are.
Good morning.
By the way, it wasn't our war in Ukraine, right? But we helped you, right? Because that's how it's supposed to work, you know? That's the deal. We help you, you help us. And yet they won't even let us use our bases. So who needs them, right? Do you even need these bases? I mean, I've argued that it's kind of a strategic location. You probably do want them. But maybe you don't spend as much money on them. Or you go back to the table, you revisit this agreement, and you say, hey, Spain, you know what? Going forward, we're going to get to use our bases. We're not going to have you tell us over in France we can't fly through your French airspace. And we're not going to find out that we can't use the Morón and Rota air bases and naval bases in Spain. Simple, right? Or you're not getting any money. You're just not getting it because we're not going to continue pouring our hard-earned cash into nothingness. It's kind of like the daycares. I mean, there's some symbolism going on here. You know, the daycares.
Good morning, Star. Good morning. Good morning.
Minneapolis, or
good morning, everybody.
You can't use over here in
Europe. Name's Deunta.
Let's go to the president speaking with Maria Bartiromo just yesterday morning. Watch.
We're doing a great job for the country and for the world. You know, we've had no
like and subscribe.
Zero from NATO. We're there for them. They're not there for us. We spend. You saw the chart that came out a couple of days ago. For the big monster.
How you doing, Sin? How you doing, Star? Good morning.
And all these little satellite balls, and it represented the money spent on military and NATO, and it's ridiculous. And they should have been better. They should have said, "We'll send somebody." It's a small operation compared to a big operation, but NATO was not there for us. And what it means, if they're not there for us here, they're not going to be there for us. So why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year on NATO? If
like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it.
They're not going to be with us on
1,800 subscribers. Thank you guys so much.
So we don't need them. again, you look at that chart because it kind of says it all. It really says it all. The Wall Street Journal now reporting exclusively that Europe is accelerating its plans to figure out a fallback position. We can call it NATO 2.0, right? NATO 2.0. What are they going to do without the US of A? I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do because, they've been importing so many migrant populations. I don't know. Does Germany have like a guilty complex or something? Look at what Angela Merkel did, bringing all those Syrians in. I guess somebody had to take them, but for goodness sakes, it was Germany. And now you look at Germany and they're a total, complete mess. You look at all of the socialism that has taken over the likes of Europe right now. And I'm telling you guys, it's a complete mess. And let it be a warning sign because we can't go there. We don't want to go there. Absolutely can't go there. You think about where Europe is spending its money. And by the way, they got pretty hefty tax rates, right? Where do they spend their money? Social welfare programs. Overwhelmingly on social welfare. I mean, they only spend 1 to 3% on defense. You compare and contrast that with, say, the U.S. I mean, we spend a lot on social welfare programs as well. Let me put this one up here. And you can see that a lot of money, probably too much money, goes to all these social welfare programs. And that's part of what we're trying to clamp down on, especially when you get the kind of fraud levels that we've seen. But consider that we're at least putting, 12 to 15% of our money into defense. And you've got Europe basically putting 1 to 3%. And that's because we make them. All right. We're like, you guys got to do it. And they don't want to. But here we are spending all of our money on, retirement stuff and healthcare stuff. That's going to probably change. I'm not saying, Social Security, because as we heard from, the pollsters earlier, that's kind of a dead in the water argument. It's going to be a tough one for anybody to take on. But you do have to think about whether or not there's fraud within the Social Security program or fraud within the Medicaid and Medicare programs or fraud within the daycare or the Feeding Our Future programs, right? That's actually going to be quite meaningful once we get to the bottom of that. But we do spend 12 to 15% on defense. They're spending 1 to 3%. They're going to have to change that. They're going to have to step up to the plate and they're going to have to do something more meaningful. They're going to have to be looking at 10 to 15% spent on defense if we're not there to help them. And so that's an important sort of moment in time, I think, for everybody to recognize. We are on the cusp of a very new world. The United States will continue to be in charge. The United States will continue, I think, to be the parent, but we're going to be the parent with a little bit of tough love. We're not going to be the one that's doting and just willing to give you whatever allowance you want, no matter how badly you're doing in school or how much you want to live on the couch. We're going to say, hey, kiddo, we will help those that help themselves. And Europe, if you can get it together and help yourself a little. And also, as I said yesterday, come to Sunday dinner with the parents, okay, with the Padres. You got to actually show up now and then and show a little respect. And if you do that, then we'll be there for you. But we got to kind of give them a nudge. And that's what's happening at this moment in time. And this nudge is important because we don't want to continue subsidizing.
Good morning. Thanks for being in the chat.
Work.
Good morning. Name is Deunta.
Thanks
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you guys.
Minnesota. The progressivism, as Justice Clarence Thomas said, is threatening the foundation of who we are. It is threatening the ideas of the Declaration of Independence, our power, our rights, our very essence comes from God, not from a communist government. It's so good to have you guys here. Make sure you subscribe. I'm looking at all your chats. I mean, Europe has a whole lot of challenges. And Uncle Andy writing Sunday dinner is not McDonald's. You're right. We gotta have a really good Sunday dinner with these Europeans. I mean, they gotta know that this is a big deal and we expect something in return. And you're not gonna shut us off and tell us we can't use our own bases, for goodness sakes, or your airspace. Come on, enough is enough. Good to have you here.
Enough is enough.
So much about
Damn
Europe.
it.
And I've spent time here, of course, in the past. I'm not Kamala Harris, but I will say it's changed a lot. I remember really spending time for the first time in Spain when I was about 14 years old, and I went there to learn Spanish.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. We are growing. We're growing. Thank you.
Then, I'm I'm not 14 anymore and I'm not 24 anymore. So it's been a few years and things have really changed. And yes, the demographics have changed. And as a result, they have a lot more liabilities. And you look at parts of France, you look at parts of the UK, London, where I am, you look at parts of Belgium, for example, where 70% of the population now in Brussels is actually migrant. And the majority of them are on benefits, and those social benefits are, built in. Well, we don't have the money to contribute to that. We don't have the money to contribute to our own social benefits. They don't have the money to contribute to it. So we've got to actually start to engage in some reforms, both for ourselves and indeed for the world. It is wonderful having you all here. Please spread the word. We're live every day on the Trish Regan Show. If you don't get to catch it live, please watch. The lefty media kind of seems to almost not want world peace. I mean, I'm like, why are you guys always on the other side? Like always. It's gotten a little ridiculous. I mean, I'm all for, I
How you
call
doing,
the president
Marie?
out when I need to call the
Patrick,
president
how y'all
out,
doing?
right?
Good morning.
Just as I call Biden out. And if Biden did something good, I don't know that he did. But if he did, I'd be happy to praise him, okay? Praise where praise is due, criticism where criticism is due. You know my allegiance. I'm certainly right of center. And you know what? I just don't want you to tax me. And I want government to be small and to sort of stay out of our lives and not to tell me that a man can have a baby. And then, we might just be okay. But the
Good morning,
media in
good morning.
general, for whatever reason, has picked a side. And I often question, is it because of clicks? Is it because of money? Is it because they've just been brainwashed, which is entirely possible. I don't think they're the smartest group. I mean that. I mean, business reporters tend to be a little bit smarter because we actually have to understand numbers, imagine. But the political reporters, they're kind of into the drama. They like the drama. And the drama's gotten kind of out of hand. And they just, the fireworks on the left is just insane. And so the lefty media almost feels like no matter what, they want him to lose. Even if it means us losing in Iran. They'd like that, right? If the Strait of Hormuz just remained closed and nobody could get any oil and they could say, you know what? We were right. We told you about him, right? They just don't want to be proven wrong now, do they? Another dust up, another day, another dust up for poor Scott Jennings, who ought to deserve some kind of hazard pay for going on that network, one CNN. Here he is saying to Val Demings from Florida, former congresswoman, I mean, come on, lady, really, what do you want?
Anybody with an elementary school understanding of foreign policy could have told you the Strait of Hormuz was going to get shut down, and that is exactly
And who controls it right now? Who controls the
why are
right now?
gas prices so high then?
Why were they high during Biden's administration? Did you like that?
It wasn't because of a because of a geopolitical
Here's the deal.
bumble.
Who controls the Strait? You're using last week's talking points, David. We control the Strait. We are in charge of this conflict right now.
You better believe we are. And that actually wasn't Val Demings. I mean, I have to level with you. That was another libtard. But let me go to the one with Val Demings. Here we go, Scott Jennings and Val.
There's a blockade, yes, and it's effective. But it's not benefiting the United States in terms of access or any of our allies around the world.
If they succumb,
so where is the victory there, and how can this?
Can I ask you a question? Do you want us to win? Do you want us to defeat these people?
I always want the U.S. to win.
Because it sounds to me like you are cheering for a bad outcome.
Could you define what win looks like?
Because all you can seem to do is define negativity.
What win looks
Here's
like.
What win looks like. These fanatics don't get a nuclear weapon. Period. Full stop. That's it.
But the president said that they didn't have
The American people deserve to know why our troops are there. What is it exactly that we're fighting for?
We're going to stop them from getting
the straits were
a
open
nuclear weapon.
Before the war.
It has nothing to do with the
no
Strait.
nuclear weapon. That has always been our mission. But there was no imminent threat.
Sure there was.
There was no imminent threat.
Val, they have missiles that can reach most of Europe. Do you not consider that to be an imminent threat?
There was no imminent threat to the United States.
We don't have bases and troops in Europe and all over the region.
That's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Here we were saving Europe, like helping them, because no, those nuclear weapons couldn't have hit us, but it would have changed the whole equation. Okay, let's just think this through for one little second. Follow me here. Because if Iran had had the nuclear weapon, it would have held the rest of the world hostage. And who's it aligned with? Russia and China.
Right.
Now, think about the energy policy that was being constantly promoted and perpetuated by the left over the last couple of decades, right? Green energy. And they wanted us to stop all drilling. Imagine if Kamala Harris had been elected and we stopped all drilling and we didn't have much energy back here at home. We didn't do the thing down in Venezuela where we scored the Orinoco region and a lot of oil supply that happens to be there. And we actually lived in a world where Iran then got the nuclear weapon. And we would have been on our hind legs saying, well, oh my gosh, what do we do? Because we don't have our own energy supply and now they have the nuclear weapon. And China would have been sitting quite pretty now, wouldn't it have? So sometimes when I think about all the stuff that has happened, and I think about the left and their ideology and what has been pushed, including what we heard from Swalwell, who was being manipulated by the likes of Fang Fang, who was actually a Chinese spy. You see, if you connect the dots from China to the Democrats to energy policy, I think there's something there. And I would just say, look, if nothing else, I'm quite happy that we elected a Republican president in the way of one Donald Trump, who wants to make sure that we are drilling, that we had Marco Rubio smart enough to go down and lock down Venezuela even before we started this excursion, this little excursion. And then I'm kind of glad we did this little excursion so that we didn't wind up in a scenario where Iran
like and subscribe, everybody. Good morning. Like and subscribe.
On its hind feet, and then you would have had
I go live in the mornings.
The same, and Saudi Arabia doing the same. All the Middle East saying, "Oh my gosh, we got the crazy people in charge." So, why isn't the media putting 1 and 1 together and coming up with 2? I mean, they go 1 and 1 equals 8 for some reason. It's all over the place, and I think it's because they are so wedded to this idea that they hate Donald Trump. I mean, when you're so passionate about a candidate, I can't imagine being that passionate about a candidate, honestly. I mean, I did not like Joe Biden. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him. I don't hate anyone. And as for politicians, do I love them? No, I don't really. I mean, come on. Let's be grounded, can we please? But I think the real problem is it's all tied up in their own ego. Because their own ego is at stake. Their own ego is out there saying, oh, he's awful. He's the next thing since Hitler, for goodness sakes. Yeah, that's a party line that's constant and disgusting and pathetic, and I hate to even echo it, but that's what they try and sell. So now, if the guy who's like the devil actually solves a major worldwide crisis and affects foreign policy for generations to come, then that makes them look pretty darn stupid now, doesn't it? Oh, and they don't like to be considered stupid. They think they're the smart ones in the room. Sorry, guys. You're stupid, all right? And you don't think anything through at all. I want to go to Stephen Miller, who's explaining why.
And we give other countries a chance to compete against us. President Trump has used trade policy, energy policy, manufacturing policy.
Sorry about that. I had to reconnect.
Policy, and yes, hard military power to ensure another century of American dominance.
Good. Okay. Good. Like, who doesn't want to celebrate that? The media. Again, because you got to remember, this is their ego. This is all they got. And they decided to hang their hat on Trump is bad and Trump is evil and Trump is going to ruin the world. And when it turns out that Trump's actually maybe saving the world, they don't know what to do with that.
Looks bright. These shoes today I'm
ceasefire deal. This 2-week deal is set to expire on Wednesday, so there's a lot of diplomatic efforts ramping back up once again to land a new deal before then. After those historic face-to-face talks last weekend, Vice President Vance will be joined once again by envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Yesterday, Iran said that it received new proposals from the U.S., and the country's deputy foreign minister warned that a framework of understanding must be agreed to first. President Donald Trump today posted on Truth Social, writing, quote, "We're offering a very fair and reasonable deal, and I hope they take it, because if they don't, the United States is going to knock out every single power plant, every single bridge in Iran." So the president facing some quick criticism because of those words this morning, but also over the war in general. Take a listen.
American troops have died, others are being injured, and Americans are paying $1 more for gas because of President Trump's war of choice. I think it is very, very
Pause it right here. By the way, while this is happening, Iran refuses to join latest round of peace talks.
It's crazy that Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Bill Clinton all talking about Iran can't have no nuclear weapons. Iran must be stopped. Trump does it. It's an issue. I don't understand all of that at all. Obama bombed places without Congress help or voting in. He took care of his job as a president. Trump does it. It's an issue. He's got to stop you guys. You know what I'm saying? I voted for Trump because I know he's going to do his job. Yeah, everybody keep on saying in the chat, he said no new wars. Okay, there's a war going on. Oh well. Obama said there was going to be no marriage between man and a woman. He said marriage between a man and a woman. All of a sudden now everything's gay under his administration at the time and Biden administration, which is crazy. I voted for Trump. I have no regrets my votes at all. No voters' remorse at all. Period. Good morning. Let's continue. And pray for everybody. Pray for peace. Love everybody. Let's continue.
As Trump sends top envoy to Pakistan, Rob, I think you got a video on this one as well. Claim U.S. has unrealistic demands. Iranians are saying unrealistic demands. Tom, what do you think is going to happen here?
So I felt like this was coming all weekend. It's like the shoe's going to drop. Here we go. They're either going to break the ceasefire or they're going to do something. I was almost certain. I'm just kind of waiting for it. And then I saw, hey, the blockade was serious because, they radioed to a ship, hey, you better hang on. You're going to get hit. And they hit the engine room. And they said, now you guys all evacuate, get out of there. So they were trying to hit the ship, but at the same time, be, and it's hard to use this word in war, but to be humane about it, to say, hey, I don't want to kill your sailors, but that ship's going where it shouldn't be going. Bang. And that happened.
You want to play that real quick, Rob? So this is the clip Tom is talking about. Go for it.
Gangster. Motor vessel Tosca. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Not listening.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch. It's coming.
Here we go.
So they hit the engine, and then this is what you're talking about, Tom. That they took over the ship.
Yep. And this is a 5-inch gun. These aren't torpedoes. They're not trying to sink it, create an environmental disaster. They're trying to put 2 right through the hole into the engine room and disable it. That sort of like, I warned you, but now they got to get tugboats and tow it off someplace. And that's when you're in the middle of a blockade, I was reading about this weekend, this is the military technique when you don't want to have like oil and a huge environmental crisis on the shores of maybe innocent countries. Not the one on the north, but certainly there's several on the south that are just sitting there. And so, like I said, I was waiting for the Iran to break the ceasefire or to refuse or to be difficult, like right at the last minute. They're playing along, bang, and then this on the blockade.
Thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you.
This is what I was expecting. At the last minute, things are going to crack.
No, it just brings up something that we've talked about a lot, which is asymmetrical warfare, that Iran can kind of be reckless. It can push things. It just has to get through one time. Has to have one mine go off. It has to disrupt one thing. Trump has to be 100% right 100% of the time. And, it's really interesting because it becomes a global issue. So Trump's not just worried about the United States. Now he has the pressure of the entire world on his back, which is just such a hard place to be in. So I'm hoping this comes to some kind of conclusion fast. I'm hoping this doesn't continue to drag on. Adam.
So there's talks going on in Islamabad, Pakistan. Pakistan. Do you think that the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, with their capital of Islamabad, is being unbiased? Maybe.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Let's grow. Let's get to 2,000 subs. Let's get to 2,000 subs. Why not?
Where else are you going to go? Islamabad basically is brokering a ceasefire. Remember Trump brokered a ceasefire between Pakistan and India. There's a relationship there. We see what's going on there. With the whole context of this Trump's war of choice. Trump's war of choice. Trump chose this. No. The United States, all our presidents, all our leaders, they've been speaking out against this for almost 50 years. Trump had the balls to do something about it. The weakness, the fecklessness of the left and the woke right is actually alarming. Rob, do you have that clip of the guy with Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris, projected potential president, 2028, challenge her to run. I don't know if you can fast forward this clip. Here's a lifelong Democrat basically saying, I can no longer vote Democrat because of what? The hypocrisy. Here's her basically saying the number one enemy, the number one threat geopolitically is Iran. This is Kamala Harris 2 years ago. I want to know what changed. Can we go to the beginning of that clip, Rob? It's at the very beginning. Remember, she says, I'm a Kamala Harris voter. It's the first sentence.
And I thought she would be a great president. Until very recently when I saw her comments about the war in Iran. I'm going to play some clips from before the election and from after the war. See what you think.
Our country do you consider to be our greatest?
Can we play this, Rob, at 16?
I think there's
No. Okay, stop.
Okay, we can't play it?
No.
Point is,
Play 16.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna play it for you guys. It's definitely hypocrisy. I'm gonna play it.
sorry about that, Rob. The point is, she says Iran. So our greatest, what did he say, enemy? Did the greatest geopolitical threat? Whatever it was, she said Iran. What changed, guys? I want to know what changed. What changed is Trump did something about it. So now the entire identity of the left is Trump's bad. I wish one thing. I wish the left loved America as much as they hated Trump. It's crazy. And if I can continue for 10 more seconds, you know this flag that I wear everywhere? I gave Tom one today. You want to know the craziest thing? People come up to me and they go, so you're Republican, right? I go, why would you say that? They go, because you're wearing an American flag. I go, so what are you saying? The American flag only represents Republicans? They go, well, you know, like, yeah, Republicans tend to like the flag more. I go, what a sad state of affairs, buddy. That the American flag only represents one party? What a shame. I wish Democrats would more to hold peace talks. Why? Because he the greatest geopolitical threat, whatever it was, she said Iran. What changed, guys? I want to know what Trump brokered a ceasefire between.
So they hit the engine, and then this is
So
what you're talking
long.
about, Tom, that they took over the ship.
Yep. And this is a 5-inch gun. These aren't torpedoes. They're not trying to sink.
Speaking out against this for almost 50 years. Trump had the balls to do something about it. The weakness, the fecklessness of the left and the woke right is actually alarming. Rob, do you have that clip of the guy with Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris, projected potential president, 2028, challenge her to run. I don't know if you can fast forward this clip. Here's a lifelong Democrat basically saying, I can no longer vote Democrat because of what? The hypocrisy. Here's her basically saying the number one enemy, the number one threat geopolitically is Iran. This is Kamala Harris 2 years ago. I want to know what changed. Can we go to the beginning of that clip, Rob? It's at the very beginning. Remember, she says, I'm a Kamala Harris voter. It's the first sentence.
And I thought she would be a great president. Until very recently when I saw her comments about the war in Iran. I'm going to play some clips from before the election and from after the war. See what you think.
Our country do you consider to be our greatest?
Can we play this, Rob, at 16?
I think there's
Okay, stop.
Okay, we can't play it?
No.
Point is,
Can't play 16.
sorry about that, Rob.
Yeah.
The point is, she says Iran. So our greatest, what did he say, enemy? The greatest geopolitical threat? Whatever it was, she said Iran. What changed, guys? I want to know what changed. What changed is Trump did something about it. So now the entire identity of the...
Iran. I'm going to play some clips from before the election and from after the war. See what you think.
Our country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands. Okay, this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power,
That is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear death to America, like the Pledge of Allegiance, you're the expert. You're supposed to be the leader that helps us understand these complex issues, and you're playing politics with it. Of course, war is unpopular. Of course. And you just turn it into a political football. You could criticize how Trump is conducting the war, say you would have done it this way, you would have done it that way, but you don't. You just say this is a war of choice, a random decision, even though you know better. We don't know this random decision. Harris as vice president, supporting the Biden policy against Iran, understanding that Iran is a serious threat. But what happens when Trump takes action against Iran? What does Kamala have to say now? Let's take a look.
When it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it.
This random decision that Donald Trump has arrived at.
How was it random?
Like, this is just out of the blue. Nobody could have seen this coming. All Donald Trump's choice. Forget the fact that every president, every administration since 1979 has understood the threat posed by the Islamic Republic occupying Iran and turning that country's resources into a war machine against the United States and our allies around the world. Forget all of that. This is just Donald Trump's choice. And the American people don't want it. Of course, the American people don't want to go to war. We don't know any better. We're not paying attention to the nitty-gritty details of international foreign policy. We don't know how many Americans have been killed. We don't remember how many embassies have been bombed. We don't know that the Iranian school children wake up every morning chanting death to America like the Pledge of Allegiance. You're the expert. You're supposed to be the leader that helps us understand these complex issues, and you're playing politics with it. Of course, war is unpopular. Of course. And you just turn it into a political football. You could criticize how Trump is conducting the war, say you would have done it this way, you would have done it that way, but you don't. You just say this is a war of choice, a random decision, even though you know better. Score cheap political points. Pretend that this is just another crazy mistake from Donald Trump. Whoever was in office right now, whatever president from whatever party would have had to deal with this threat. It should have been dealt with under Obama when they kidnapped a ship full of Navy sailors and held them hostage. No, he created the nuclear deal, which would have expired this year. The limits on nuclear enrichment would have expired this year. And the limits on rockets, the distance that Iranian rockets can travel, expired 3 years ago. That deal would have been gone. There is no diplomacy right now, and Iran knows that. They were planning for exactly this year, the entire time, to attack. Oh, nuclear deal's over? Let's go. One more clip.
He entered a war, got pulled into it by Bibi Netanyahu. Let's be clear about that. Entered a war that the American people do not want, putting at risk American service members.
And then she jumps on the blame Israel bandwagon. Like, they just pulled us into this war for no reason, right? Not because there's been rockets flying at them for the past 2.5 years. Ever since October 7th, 2023, when Hamas invaded Israel and took over 200 people hostage and killed over 1,000 in the most ruthless way possible. No, Israel just, for some reason, because they're awful and terrible, pulled us into this war. No, they're on the front lines, and they were attacked. And we were the only country with the guts to step in and do something about it. Because it's not just Israel that's under attack. Israel's just the first country in the way. I could show you dozens of clips.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Islamic preachers in Arabic and English telling us exactly what they want to do, that they want to destroy the United States, destroy Western civilization, and turn us all into the Islamic Handmaid's Tale. And Kamala Harris can't even be real about that threat. She is the reason that I have so much trouble voting for Democrats right now in this moment. She was supposed to be the adult in the room. She was supposed to be the experienced leader. And she's playing politics just like the rest of them.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
When I was 8 years of age, my mother contracted polio.
The left is Trump's bad. I wish one thing. I wish the left loved America as much as they hated Trump. It's crazy. And if I can continue for 10 more seconds, you know this flag that I wear everywhere? I gave Tom one today. You want to know the craziest thing? People come up to me and they go, "So you're Republican, right?" I go, "Why would you say that?" They go, "Because you're wearing an American flag." I go, "So what are you saying? The American flag only represents Republicans?" They go, "Well, you know, like, yeah, Republicans tend to like the flag more." I go, "What a sad state of affairs, buddy. That the American flag only represents one party?"
That's crazy.
I wish Democrats would more patriotic.
Well, my thing is, there is no way that our government, the president, everybody didn't know this is what they were going to get with Iran. Like, and you said Islamic Republic, these people are on a mission from God. Okay, they don't care about their own citizens' lives. So I'm shocked why this is a surprise. If you get into a wrestling match with a pig and you come out and you go, "What the? I'm dirty." That's not like, it doesn't make sense to me. They knew it was going to be like this. They're not going to quit. They're not going to stop. And that's why the two main parts of the mission were taking over, getting rid of the Ayatollah and all those things. But the uprising, the people, this is not going to stop. You think the IRGC and these maniacs are going to stop doing it? This is going to be endless, Adam, because think about it. If you don't care about your own citizens, you have the army. They're going to keep, nope. Because you know what they want to do? Their mission is let Trump bomb all the plants, let Trump bomb all the oil plants, so we'll show the world how messed up these people are and watch. Because, dude, if they and by the way, it'd be their fault, but if they do that, imagine how many people that aren't radicalized there around the world are going to get radicalized because they're going to go, "Oh, he is a tyrant."
So this, to Pat's question when we started this segment, did this surprise you?
Not at all, Tommy. Not at all. Because you're like, how many times did we say we don't negotiate with terrorists? The leadership, the Ayatollahs, Tom, they're on a completely different. When I say mission from God, Tom, that's who they're answering to. They're saying God is making them.
Rob, can you pull up this clip I just sent you, which is all the presidents are speaking about on Iran? I just texted to you, and yeah, this one right here. If you can play this, go ahead, Rob.
Formally announcing my intention to cut off all trade and investment with Iran.
Our second goal is to prevent regimes that sponsor terror from threatening America or our friends and allies with weapons of mass destruction. Iran aggressively pursues these weapons and exports terror, while an unelected few repress the Iranian people's hope for freedom.
I strongly believe that our national security interest now depends upon preventing Iran from obtaining a...
Wow.
I say to you, Iran will never get a nuclear weapon on my watch, as they say.
This terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, so everybody talked about it. One guy is doing something about it. So you kind of have to see how, this is another meme that's going viral. Iran took hostages. They're evil. They're a real threat. They're sponsoring terrorism. They're killing Americans. They're building nukes. We have to stop them. Okay.
I'm gonna freeze it for you guys. Let's blow it up a little bit. Let's blow it up. Yep.
You know, it's like, all right, I'll do it. No, you're the enemy. You're the bad guy. You know, that's doing something like this.
There's certain uncomfortable realities that Americans have to accept because Iraq really changed the sentiment of war in the United States for a very long time. That was, it should have been Iran, not Iraq. And but the big reality here that everyone has to accept, whether they like it or not, is you have a radical Islamist regime that lied not only about its nuclear development, it enriched uranium well past 60%. It's the only non-nuclear country in the world to do that, but also lied very clearly about its ballistic missile range. And those are two very scary things. Even if you're not scared of the uranium, they've proved to us they lied about the range of the missiles they are developing. Going from intermediate range ballistic missiles to long range ballistic missiles is not a big jump. And we do not have any type of blanket missile defense system in the United States. It makes us very vulnerable. So do you want to, we keep pushing it back, and people say we've been saying this for decades. Yes, but there is a breaking point. Like I said earlier, Iran only has to be right once. If that day comes where they do have long-range ballistic missiles, even just dirty bomb tipped, right? They don't have to actually be nuclear warheads. That is devastating for the United States. So again, do you wait? No, Trump did the right thing.
But here's my question to you. And mind you, I was in the Air Force. He was in the Army. We're not going to sit here and pretend like we're four-star generals with all the military strategic planning. But okay, you know what the leadership. Tom, let's maybe we're in the situation room. Okay, guys, they have that capability. We bombed. We took out their nuclear capabilities. Okay, how are you going to win this? Because the leader, every time you kill a leader, there's another one coming in. They control the arm. But here's the thing.
I got an idea. Instead of a big pallet full of money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
No, Obama.
Anybody have an extra Salem?
But my thing is this: how do you achieve victory? So let's just say the missiles are gone, the nukes are gone. The leadership is still there, and they're never going to listen to you.
Yeah, so there's again an uncomfortable truth. There's a difference between being able to exert external force and being able to exert internal force. The idea that we'll be able to win a victory over Iran where they can no longer, push internal force is very unlikely. That's the truth. It's an almost impossible battle. You have a regime there that's willing to massacre its own people, but the idea that we can set them back decades in their ability to hurt externally, sadly, is, again, it's an uncomfortable idea that you're putting them back in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
But that is the only way you protect the rest of the world at some point.
But now, remember those people, those millions of people now? They're sitting there like, wait a minute, hello, what?
I really want to address this with you because I feel like we're going in circles sometimes. I love you.
Going in circles at all.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
You're focused on the people of Iran. I hear you.
On top of, hold on. But let me clarify. On top of the nuclear, the epic fury, all that. I love that. Okay. But being from Iran, our family's from Iran. At the end of the day, all that. Thank God they bombed all that stuff. What about the people that were dying at them that were like, help is here. And now it's just like, well, the nukes and stuff are gone. Good luck.
Help is on the way. Help is here. I mean, Trump has been talking about this since he started running for election. We just showed the clip of every single president talking about this. Trump did something.
Yes.
Marco Rubio, Trump, they've laid out their agenda. We're going to take out all their military assets. Their navy's in the bottom of the sea. They can't produce new military weapons. There's rumors that they're putting shadows of planes out there, so the U.S. is bombing shadows because they don't have real planes. Okay, nuclear ambitions, put that aside. You, Vincent, my brother, are hyper-focused on the people of Iran, as I understand. I think that's great. Of course we want that. Here's the sad reality, so we don't continue to go and do this. They're going to have to figure that out on their own. We talked about we don't want boots on the ground. Well, which one is it? Because we can't do regime change unless we put boots on the ground. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. We can do all the heavy lifting. But if there's going to be actual change in Iran, the people have to do that. Now, you might say, how are they going to do that? I don't know. Pat doesn't know. We don't know. What we can do, like Elon said, the external situations, the nuclear, the warheads, the shooting it 2,000 miles to Europe, that's done. So now whatever happens internally, we literally mean, God bless, Allah bless, figure it out. But we can't do the revolution for you. Like the United States Revolution, when we did this, we're like, hey guys, the British. It's like, no, you got to do this, George Washington. You got to sign the Declaration of Independence, guys. And that's what we did. And that's the unfortunate situation.
To be fair,
they're going to have
a
to do
lot
that.
of support from France.
Yeah,
our revolution, France gave us, deception and.
But did they? But were they boots on the ground? Were they fighting, or was Americans fighting?
There were French here.
Yeah.
You're telling me that the French fight?
They were
No, but at
buddy.
a minimum, we should provide the Iranian people with some kind of auxiliary support. However, we can do that.
We
if
are.
There is,
Are we
We
not?
tried, but no, the Kurds took the guns and they left. We tried to help them. They were just like, hey,
that story kind of came and went. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, well, so did the guns.
But Pat, let me bring this back to you.
Kurds took them.
I think that you understand everything that Trump is doing, from the nuclear ambitions to the military to the warheads, everything. The blockade, the economic warfare. Focus on the people if that's what really. What should the people of Iran do at this point? The 10,000, 50,000, whatever the number of the greatest people who were fighting against the regime are being killed. Is their sentiment of fighting on the ground? Are they going to weaponry? Like, what are they going to do from a people perspective?
Yeah.
First, I want to understand this.
Yeah, so a couple things on the blockade of what's working and what's not. Every day the blockade is there, Iran loses $400 million a day.
400 million
Every day the blockade costs Iran's government, the IRGC, $400 million a day, $12 to $13 billion a day of them selling oil. They can only, experts say they can only handle it up to 16 days. Some are saying 2 months. So they're right now like this.
They're getting choked out.
So the idea that they put a pause on it kind of helped Iran a little bit. Now, if they extend this and they have the blockade and you're saying they're stopping, 3 or 4 ships, hey, what are you doing? Turn around. You ain't doing this right now. You ain't selling it to nobody. Get your ass back into place. We're serious about this. Now Iran is sitting there saying, holy shit, this is becoming real. Now what am I going to do? I need the revenue. I need the money. I need the income. So how will Iran react? Yesterday there was a 60 Minutes episode on Iran. And Rob, were you able to find out about the guy that's on it or no?
Yes.
Were you able to find out who it is? So this is Matthew Bunn, okay? Harvard Kennedy School. Matthew Bunn, to just kind of give you an idea who he is, Bunn was served as a White House Office of Science and Technology from 94 to 96. 94 to 96, who would that be? Was that senior is who he was under?
Clinton.
Clinton.
Clinton was 92.
All right, so 94, 96 is Clinton. So it's not like this is a Trump guy. He is doing an interview yesterday with 60 Minutes. And 60 Minutes doesn't know what this guy's going to say. Of course, we can't play the clip, but we can just show what he says with the content in the tweet, Rob, if you want to go to it. I highly recommend watching this. Everybody should watch this tomorrow. Just don't play the clip, Rob, because you know what 60 Minutes does. So UN, last time UN inspector were able to verify Iran had 970 pounds of 60% uranium enriched uranium. If enriched further, the stockpile could produce 10 to 11 nuclear bombs, says Matthew Bunn, a former White House nuclear advisor who works at the Harvard Kennedy School Belfer Center. And then he also says this, which was kind of shocked a lot of people. Iran has been lying about its nuclear weapon effort for over 20 years now. He says, a former White House nuclear advisor who works at Harvard Kennedy School. Remember, this is a Biden, this is a Clinton guy. If he's a Clinton or a Bush person, he's not a Trump person. Let's get that clear.
Crazy.
Bushes don't like Trump. Clintons don't like
Like
Trump.
and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe.
There is the media market, what everybody reacts to and what they
Thank
say.
you for
Then
stopping
there's the
by.
people that were in there having dealt with Iran and knowing what these guys are like and how they like when they're negotiating. Iran's in a very bad place.
Thank you guys for stopping by the chat. Appreciate it. Name is Deunta.
Don't have somebody
Appreciate that.
there, and I don't know
Like
why
and
the
subscribe.
president is not locking on to Reza Pahlavi. If he did, his strategy would be different. So think about it this way. Did you guys see Maria Corina Machado came up outside on the balcony? How the Venezuelans reacted to it? Did you see this clip? Rob, can you find this clip? Just type in her name and how she was received. It was beautiful on how she was received. What Trump wants to do and what he does want to do, it's right there. Watch this, Vinny. Just watch the reaction, how she's being received.
Is this in Venezuela?
Can you go back to the tweet so I can read the details there? Venezuelan opposition leader Corina Machado walked out to a sea of thousands of supporters in Madrid.
Got it.
Machado has dedicated her Nobel Prize to she is refusing to meet Spain's leftist PM Pedro Sanchez right now. Instead, meeting with right-wing opposition, right-wingers must rise across Europe. Okay, So play the clip, Rob. Play the clip.
Oh, is that real?
No, this is real.
Wow.
This is Spain. Yeah, that's surprising. Okay?
Spain loving
That's
her.
right. This is Spain. Now you got to realize this Spain's.
Thank you. All right. Let's grow. Let's do it.
Against them, so it's kind of plain. But this is kind of where I'm going with you, Adam, to answer your question about the people. So the difference between Reza Pahlavi and her is what? She got a Nobel Prize. She went to the White House. She gave it to Trump. Everybody thought Trump was going to get behind her, and Trump's like, no, your people got to vote for you. So if you look at the pattern there, what do Iranians have to do with this guy? If Iranians really want to play, use a similar type of a playbook, because this guy's getting audiences that are showing up as well. But Trump is not going to get behind to say, we're going to endorse you, the same way he did with Maria Corina Machado. So honestly, it's a
Yeah, funny. So you wearing a vest. That's like legit. You got a vest on.
The U.S. government that the military has flipped on them and is supporting him, and he simply doesn't have that. You could have the people. You could have audiences showing up in Germany. You could have audiences showing up all over the place. And by the way, they are for this guy. But you got to get the military to flip. If the military people are not flipping, you ain't going to have a lot of, you need some of the military, even if it's 5%, 10%, 20%, to stand up and say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. It hasn't happened yet. And so influence-wise, they got to find somebody internally. Iran's market's not going to let that happen because the internet, where people cannot communicate the message out, it's still kind of tough to be able to do it. So Iran's issue is different. So the president is probably thinking the idea of a regime change and a regime collapse, the regime, he can
Good morning.
say it's changed. Why? Because it's new people, hasn't collapsed. Yeah. If IRGC is there 3 months from now, there is no collapse. Yeah. You can say, Khamenei is not there, his son took over. You can say you killed 50 different people. So as long as IRGC is there, the Iranian people are going to be screwed because the way they're going to be treated.
Quick follow up on that to you. So you're talking about the power. Who has the power? By the way, has anyone even seen the new Ayatollah? Allegedly, he's in a coma. I know you think he's gay. Whatever the kill is.
I didn't say
I don't know what's going on. But follow the money here. If you're saying that they're losing $400 million a day, okay, how many billions is that going to be this month?
12 to 13 billion a month. They can't afford to lose that kind of money.
They're choking them out.
Yeah, they are.
And if they can't pay their proxies, which is done, if they can't pay their IRGC, the people have no money. What's going to happen to society?
If you choke them out, how do you get rid of the IRGC?
That's the big problem.
If they're saying, well, they've agreed to a 15-year suspension on, uranium enrichment and all this other stuff. What the hell is 15 years? The problem, for example, I don't care if, certain countries have nuclear enrichment or the power if they're allies and they're friendly. Who do you care about not having it? People who are screaming off the top of their lungs, death upon America. Yeah, that's a little bit concerning to give you that. And say 15 years. So what makes you think in 15 years? How old is AOC in 15 years, Rob? 50? I don't know how old she is right now. 34? 33? 35? How old is she today? 36? In 15 years, she's 51. Say America gets crazy. Who was Obama doing the whole song and dance thing with the kids, with Mamdani in a classroom? I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Yeah. So Obama was at first too careful to get too close to an Islamist socialist, semi-communist. He did. Now they're doing this. Optics-wise, go ahead and play this clip, Rob. What do you think this is? You can play the clip. What do you think this is? Tell me what optics are. If the number one Democratic influencer in the last 30 years gets in front of it, is this not a form of endorsement?
Yes.
This is an endorsement.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's some indoctrination.
Shortly after, by the way, his wife was caught with all those crazy comments online. And he's Obama's right there.
Obama. So meaning they're going to. And by the way, this leads to the follow. Let me go to the James Carville tweet. I don't know if you guys saw this or not on the podcast. James Carville, who's a big Democratic advisor, said this on a podcast. We won't play the clip because it's very long, but I'll just read it to you. James Carville joined the podcast, stated on a left-wing Polycon podcast that when the Democrats regain power, they plan to, ready, grant statehood to D.C. and Puerto Rico so the Democrats can unlock 4 extra seats in the Senate. They're all going to be on the left. Pack the U.S. Supreme Court with 9 justices from 9 to 13 adding another 4 left-wing justices to the court. It's going to be hard, but that's what they want to do.
Wow.
Reopen the U.S.
This is
Mexico
crazy.
border and grant mass amnesty to every single alien currently inside the U.S. And last but not least, don't run on it. Don't talk about it. Just do it. You don't think Democrats are going to get into the White House soon? You don't think they're going to be in there? You don't think they're going to have control? So then what are they going to do? So then how are they going to negotiate with Iran? Are they going to be as strong? Are they going to be as aggressive? Are they going to...
No, they don't give them money.
What is the money?
They don't give them money like Obama did. And like Biden did with Ukraine. Give money to Ukraine. They're giving money away. No, handle that stuff.
That's sitting there that they want to release back to Iran.
Blow it up if you have to.
And everybody says, "Oh, now Trump wants to give them money."
Yeah.
No, that's their funds that we have frozen the accounts so that they can't buy bad things with it at the moment. That's it. It's not a pallet, a gift the way Obama did.
I mean, you want to talk about a threat to America? That tweet pretty much sums it up. We're so distracted from so many other things that someone can come out and say that, and we don't even focus on it and take it seriously. So I'm very, very worried about our future in our next election. As for Iran internally, like you were saying, if you put more pressure on the IRGC, if you keep chokeholding them, you would hope that there would be some kind of internal fracture that takes place eventually that does cause the people to rise up, does cause the people, part of the military, to fracture and side with them. But it's just so ugly and messy in the process that I think a lot of people don't have the stomach for it. So I don't know.
They don't have that much time, by the way. U.S. doesn't have that much time.
Yeah.
They have honestly, like if I were to give you a timeline, you have 45 days.
Do you not think, though, that there is some fracture happening with...
I do think, absolutely. I think they're making progress. I love the fact that the ship stood in front of them and said, "Hey, guy, turned around, boom, boom, boom. Hey, you're this, come on here, engine." That's a statement to the world that, hey, this is not just a threat. And for him to say, so now imagine if this gets to the point. So let's kind of play this out. J.D. Vance goes, and imagine IRGC doesn't show up. So, Tom, that's kind of like I sent Tom to negotiate, and the other guys all of a sudden punk Tom, and they don't show up. Let me ask you, are they really punking Tom, or are they punking me?
Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'll be going live in the mornings when I can. I'll go live in the mornings. I really appreciate it.
So think that for a second. So
almost at 2,000 subs. Almost at 2,000 subs. Let's grow. Let's grow. Almost there. Thank you guys.
Because they talk a lot of shit, but they're going to show up. But say the 10% they don't show up. Say the 10% they don't show up. Maybe if the 10% they don't show up, Vinny, what percentage of Iranians is like, yeah, attack our own people? We want it because we want that story. If you don't show up, it's your way of saying, we want the blood on your hand.
100%.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, because the world's going to turn against you even more. Go ahead and do it. They will sympathize with us, not with you. Go ahead and attack us. So run a poll real quick, Rob. Let's see what the smartest audience in the world, who is very well balanced, will be saying here. Do they believe the IRGC will show up when J.D. Vance arrives in Islamabad? Rob, can you run that poll? I know you listened to two different clips. What clip is this, Rob, that you just pulled up as well?
This is the Iranian foreign minister. This was late last night, where he talks about Iran participating in the peace deals in Pakistan.
That they are going to show up.
No.
Go ahead.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Thank you. Almost there. 2,000 subs. Why not? Why not? Name is Deunta. Thank you, guys.
For the next round
Thank
of
you.
negotiations.
Okay.
Decision.
By the way, play it again for 5 seconds. Play it again for 5 seconds. He doesn't know if he wants to say anything.
First of all, up until this very moment, we do not have any plans for the next round of negotiations.
He's a target. His house.
Decision.
Like worried. Yeah, his days are numbered. He's talking like his days are numbered. But the point being the following. What happens if they don't show up?
Well, if they don't show up.
Say JD lands. He lands. You're there. Witkoff, Kushner. They're there. And they don't show up. What does Trump do?
Well, Trump's been shown that he's willing to escalate. That's one thing Trump has.
Do you think Iran believes that at this point?
100%.
I agree.
But what I will say is this:
they better
the
take
world
every
has
single one
learned.
of Trump's threats seriously.
No,
as like a heart attack.
But you're absolutely right in what you said. Is that the world has learned? The worst regimes in the world learned that the way they can win a war is by the suffering of their own people, which is a terrible, terrible place to be. So Iran has the ability to massacre its own people, use its own people as essentially human shields, and then when they die, they go. They know there's tons of world pressure.
Good morning. Like and subscribe, everybody. Name is Deunta. I go live in the mornings when I can. Name is Deunta. Like and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Let's grow. I want to say 2,000 subs. Why not? Let's get it, everybody.
Well, because not even a minute. If Trump goes through with it and bombs the power grid and their oil, the people are going to die. Forget about all the older people. Like, people are going to die. And like, I heard somebody be like, well, maybe that's going to be the camel that broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back, and make the people finally revolt. I'm like, no, they're going to have nothing. They have nothing. What are they going to do, throw rocks at their own government? No, bro, if that happens, Pat, it's going to be very, very, very bad.
2 clips I want to show you, and then, Adam, I'm going to come to you. Number one, here's what the president said. The president said the following, I'll just let him say it. Go ahead.
Excuse me, but in any event, we'll get it. Go ahead.
If you don't have a deal by Wednesday when the ceasefire ends, will you extend the ceasefire or will you start attacks again?
Maybe I won't extend it, but the blockade is going to remain. But maybe I won't extend it. So you have a blockade, and unfortunately, we'll have to start dropping bombs again. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I think it's going to happen.
What about the UFOs, Mr. President?
UFOs?
So that's Trump, and then Fetterman. Rob, do you have the exact time when he says that, or no? Go for it.
I might be the only Democrat that supports, what's happened through Epic Fury, but I am the only Democrat, definitely in the Senate, and now the only Democrat in Congress, I think, now to support Epic Fury at this point. And I'll never understand why my party just can't see that there's been a lot of good developments through a lot of these things. I mean, I don't, to pulverize the Iranian military, every single Democrat has said we can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. And now they've been the evil regime. And I think eliminating their leadership is a strong development too. And Hezbollah, that's one of their proxies. And it's tremendous the way Israel has to neutralize them to the point where now they're begging for a ceasefire now too.
Adam.
Look, there's one person in charge of the world right now. Whether you like him or not, it's Donald Trump. He's the big baller, shot caller. Everyone else is just noise. Trump is the signal. So do you think Trump can be easily swayed by anybody at this point? Do you think that Trump is...
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Wow.
Cares what other people think. Trump's fighting.
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it, everybody. Appreciate it. My name is Deunta. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
When Joaquin Phoenix goes,
embrace me, brother.
Embrace me, brother, and stabs him, and then he comes down to the world. And what does Russell Crowe do? Still wins. I mean, he obviously died at the end, but he killed the guy. Trump's fighting the left, one hand behind his back. He's fighting the media. He's fighting the globalists. He's fighting the Islamists. He's fighting everybody, and he's winning. Can we address the fact that we're winning? Trump, 10 years ago, we're going to win so much.
So much winning.
We'd always be like, what does that even mean? This is what that means. Show me how.
Wow, it's too early.
The U.S. No, I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
Show me how U.S. is losing because you're paying an extra dollar in the pump.
No, not.
I'm saying, show me how U.S. is losing.
But Adam,
because you're paying an extra dollar.
Not extra dollar, but groceries and hold on. We're talking about. Hold on, but Adam, did you hear Carville? That warning. If we don't do that's
the real law.
Adam, it's Adam. You can't dismiss that.
What is Carville?
Look how
Carville
serious
has been relevant since 1994. No. And now we're taking what he says.
It's not just him; it's the entire left, and they're going to gain momentum.
Adam,
because of what?
Adam,
because we're winning.
Because they fractured because of all the stuff that's going on. But you can't. You have to admit, and I even wrote this down, Adam, how serious it is. If we don't get voter ID and the mass deportation, which it seems like they just stopped because it didn't look good in Minnesota. If they don't do the SAVE Act, Adam, we're toast.
You're conflating all the issues.
We're winning.
Let him say his thought. Then I got some thoughts, and I want to go to
they're going to get if Kalshi and all these predictive markets are right, Adam. It's not even a question about the House and the Senate, and they're going to go after.
Too early to tell.
Let me tell you this.
Too early to tell.
Let me tell you one thing you got to be thinking about. If you could have Iran's on the deal, say we are able to do a regime change. IRGC is gone, new regime, no nuclear, they're peaceful, market opens up.
Like and subscribe.
Iran becomes open. Matter of fact, we're going to go to Iran, do a podcast 2 years from now. Okay, let's just put that as one of them. 2, voter ID. okay, where everybody now has to go through voter ID, every single state, every single this, you get that one. 3, you get 2 additional Supreme Court justice seats in there, let's just say. 4, you win midterms and you win 2028, and it continues. What else you want to add on that list, Tom? What other issues that are important?
I'm loving what I'm hearing.
No, but give me what else.
Voting for that. You've got the Supreme Court decision on gerrymandering on district.
Perfect gerrymandering. What else you want to add on that list? Here's what I want you to do.
Yep.
Pick only 2 of them. Not you first. I know where one of yours is going to be. What are your 2 out of those 5? Out of those 5 things I just said, what are your 2?
Voter ID is if we don't.
I think for me it's 1 as well.
Okay, voter
I'm all
ID.
for voter ID.
And the midterms 2028, we have to win password.
Midterms 2028 is.
Midterm 2026.
26.
And then you said the presidency in 2020.
Tom, what's your top 2?
Well, voter ID solves a bunch of the things that are in there.
That's right.
Gerrymandering,
I agree.
You can gerrymander a district with a bunch of
Yep.
illegals in it.
Yep.
But if you have voter ID, that's number
I'm
1
with
for me.
you.
So say back voter ID, number 1 for me. Number 2 for me is now it's mitigating damage for 26.
It's the midterms.
But if theoretically Iran was resolved,
So you're okay if Iran doesn't get resolved. It's not your top 2, top 3.
No. It's absolute. That's my given. So,
but no, that's the reason why I'm asking this is I don't think for everybody it's their top 2. That's kind of where I'm going.
Mm-hmm. For most Americans,
it's for sure your top 2.
I'm America
Is
first.
what?
By the way,
Iran, IRGC's gone.
Yep.
No more nuclear threat. Okay. Sanctions are lifted. The market opens up. They become like the new Dubai, new Saudi. You can go back and visit Iran. It's free. It's safe. That's 1 of the 5.
Yep.
Is that in your top 2?
Do you think that's in my top 2?
I would say it's 2, 3.
I have it as 4.
Okay.
Number 1 is the SAVE Act. I don't know if it's going to happen. We got to protect America.
I love it.
Like, that's number 1 to me.
All right.
America first.
What's your 2?
Okay. Number 2, if that gets done, midterms. Well, it's too early to tell about midterms.
Right.
I've been around long enough that we're going to lose. It's going to be a red wave. I'm not there yet. Okay.
Try to give a short answer. What's
Supreme
your 2?
Court.
Okay.
Supreme Court is important. But I'm old enough to remember when they were going to pack the court 5 years ago,
Okay, so then,
and they didn't do it.
So then,
from a foreign perspective, yes, we're in the middle of Iran right now.
So,
but the average person doesn't wake up and think about
now,
what's going on in Hormuz today.
Here's what I want you to think about. Take that list, and this is on a podcast. Take that list and give it to the president. With him having access to all the information, how do you rank what's on his list?
Oh, wow.
And that's what matters, because he got elected. Everybody else talks. Did you win an election? Did you become a president? Did you get shot in the ear? Did you get all that stuff that happened? Did you go through all the criticism? Did they go through your wife's drawer? Did they go through all that? No, they did it to him. So guess what happens? And that's after winning, losing, and a lot of stuff is coming with 2020 election. That's not going to be pretty for all those guys that were playing games on the inside. And he doesn't give up and comes back and wins again. Yeah, guess what? That's how elections work. You know, when Obama at the, what was it, Tom, when he was giving one of the speeches at the House, and somebody booed him, and he looks at him and says, elections have consequences.
Boom. Yeah.
I'm the one that won. Guess what? Obama was right.
Yes.
And guess what? Trump is right. You know, so we'll see what he wants to do. But I will tell you, the concept of affordability is not going to be going away. Let me get into the next story here of what happened with the whole Pope Leo. So we know what happened with the comments towards Pope Leo said something about.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Trump responded.
Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. Almost at 2,000 subs. Almost there. Let's grow. Thank you.
Back and said things about him. And then another reporter asked him a question and said, hey, what do you think about the 4 people that are being executed in Iran, with one of them being a woman? Trump responds back and says, why don't you ask the Pope? The Pope then responds and says the following. He says, Pope Leo says his tyrant's remarks were not aimed at Trump. Okay, is that a clip that you have, Rob?
Yes.
Is this it?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Being ravaged by a handful of tyrants. It is held together by a multitude of supportive brothers and sisters. They are the descendants of Abraham, as numerous as the stars in the sky and the grains of sand on the seashore. Let us look into each other's eyes. We are this immense people. Peace is not something we must invent. It is something we must embrace by accepting our neighbor as our brother and as our sister.
Rob, nothing in that video was about Trump. So what do you want me to do with that video?
Well, that's so the very first portion. Yeah. That's the comment that they're saying he was making about President Trump. Pope Leo came out and said he was not calling.
He said it Trump. In this video. Maybe I just wasn't listening.
It's the first thing.
I'm sorry, Rob. My mistake. Can you put that up again?
Sure.
The world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants. It is held together by a multitude of supportive brothers and sisters.
Did you say Trump?
No, this is what they used to say that he was talking about Trump.
They're insinuating.
Yeah. Is there a clip of him not saying anything about Trump? Because I thought he said that in the first one.
No, he didn't.
So, all right, so let me know. So Pope's Saturday remarks made this week in which the world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants. The Pope's Angular 10-day was prepared for a 2-week comment.
Subscribe.
On all aspects, and his speech was prepared 2 weeks ago, well before the president ever commented on myself of the speech that I am promoting. He told Reuters, the news outlet cited that the Pope saying comments were not aimed at Trump. As it happens, it was looked as if I was trying to debate the president, which is not in my interest at all. So good for him for saying that. And then Pope Leo comes out and expands call for peace to perceived war of words with Trump, which is good that he's taking that direction. Rob, is this another clip by him?
This is.
Go for it.
Certain narrative that has not been accurate in all of its aspects, but because of the political situation created when on the first day of the trip, the President of the United States made some comments about myself. Much of what has been written since then has been more commentary on commentary, trying to interpret what has been said. Just one little example, the talk that I gave at the prayer meeting for peace.
Oh, this is the clip.
A couple of days ago, was prepared 2 weeks ago, well before the president ever commented on myself and on the message of peace that I am promoting. And yet, as it happens, it was looked at as if I was trying to debate again the president, which is not my interest at all.
By the way, I don't know about you. I love the way he communicates both messages. I absolutely love the way. And FYI, just so people know my position, because of my response to Tucker Carlson when he said he made the comparisons of, now they're comparing Catholics to Nazis or whatever that was said. I expect the Pope to not want war.
Of course.
I expect the Pope to not want war. So to me, a part of it is like, he's supposed to not want it.
Not controversial.
But by the way, the way he just communicated, you see, I don't know the guy. When he first was elected, because he's a Chicago pro-Republican pro, and I know Charlie came out and says, look, I don't know where the verdict is still out. We're not going to know whether this guy's a globalist or not. The verdict's out, and, everybody was saying, well, let's wait to see what's going to happen with them. I like the way he communicated. I like the way the message he just gave. This is him representing 1.4 billion people, and my expectation of somebody in a figurehead like this is to say peace. You're supposed to say that. It's totally fine, and try to do your best to stay out of politics. Didn't the previous Pope do some events with transgenders, or I don't know what
he bust them there, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah. So, and then Trump stands firm on his remark against the Pope. He hasn't changed his position. Rob, I don't know if you have a clip on that. Well, that's on the 16th, and Pope's comments were on the 18th. So it's kind of not fair to play that clip because it was a couple days prior to that. I will tell you this: the president is planning to join America Reads the Bible initiative amid spat with Pope Leo, and I don't know when this is going to be happening. So let me see where this is. President Trump on Friday announced that he will attend a marathon reading of the Bible amid his few. The group Christians Engaged listed Trump one of the many participants in the America Reads the Bible event, which starts Saturday evening and runs for a week. The president sent a statement that he applauds every citizen, including every citizen participating in the America Reads the Bible initiative. Together, we will honor Holy Scripture, renew our faith, usher in historic resurgence of religion on American shores, and rededicate to the United States as one nation under God. Beautiful. Elon, your thoughts on this?
Well, I just think it's a reminder of the fundamental difference between moral authority and political authority. I'm really happy that the Pope came out and made that distinction super clear. And I agree with you entirely. I think it's nuts that people think the Pope calling for peace, which is the actual
Listen to the peacemakers.
Yes,
peacemakers
message of Christ. What is the controversy there? But that's a perfect example of the media trying to create division, as always. So I like how it ended up, though. I like that we got to have that reminder.
So, number one, I respect the Pope, specifically this Pope. By the way, did you catch he's got a kind of a Chicago accent?
I love it.
The Pope from Chicago.
I love it.
Stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, bear, stop, Pope, the Pope, the Pope. He's doing great. Good for him. So, here's what we also know. Stay in your lane. Trump has an agenda. And what we know about Trump, if you get in his way, you could be whoever coming down. You could be the Pope. You could be the Ayatollah. You could be no, rabbi, priest. Don't get in Trump's way. Like you said earlier, you wrestle with a pig. You're both going to get muddy, but the pig loves it. Just don't do it. I respect the Pope.
But all he
By
said
the way,
was
if we're going to talk
peacemakers and he got attacked.
Yeah,
That's not cool.
it was the media that
It was the media that twisted it.
Yeah,
So
and then
speaking
Trump
of the
followed
media
the media.
twisting
Yeah.
it, if you're going to talk about tyrants, name the tyrants then. Go ahead. If you're going to get involved in politics, whether you're the Pope or not, go ahead and say the tyrant's name. Trump's not on that list, guys.
But Adam,
No
can I ask you a
king.
question?
Xi, Putin, Kim Jong-un, whatever Ayatollah's alive at this point. Maduro is in jail right now. Lukashenko in Belarus. There's a whole list of tyrants before Trump's name should even be mentioned. Last but not least, read the Bible. That's great. Good for Trump. I know you don't think Trump's a Christian or whatever.
He isn't.
Trump represents America. Trump's trying to put God first in America. Here's the last point. You want the left dictating biblical prophecy? You want the far left talking about God? They don't believe in God. Communists literally ban God. So whatever you think of Trump, at least he's serving the Lord above. I'll leave it at that.
Elon?
No, I was going to say that. Don't you still think it's? I mean, we know how Trump talks. We know how Trump is, but it's not a good look to go. You know, you're saying Trump will go after anyone who goes after.
Sure.
The Pope is probably one of the few people you should give a little bit of
I hear you.
a little
Now,
bit of
Rob, can you
lenience.
play this clip? Rob, can you play this clip? Enton did a poll on Pope Leo and Trump to show popularity, to show the influence the Pope has. This is important to know numbers like this and pay attention to it. Go ahead, Rob.
The American public at large, John, look at this. It is a blow on the net popularity rating. Pope Leo XIV at plus 34. Look at where Donald Trump is at minus 12. It's not even close. It's a nearly 50-point blowout amongst the American public at large. Pope Leo XIV absolutely crushing President Trump when it comes to how popular they are, at least as of the last month. And I will note that Pope Leo was the most popular person tested by
by the way,
ABC
when you
News.
see
I
this-
believe the president
so
is
there's
making
there's a part of
humongous
this poll when you look at it. It's mathematically impossible for the president's popularity to be higher than Pope Leo. Yeah, mathematically impossible. So I know this looks like, oh my God, maybe the Pope should run for office. No, it's a different story when they're polling this. This was the list they made that who was the least disliked person? What was it? Was it, you guys remember, it was Elon Musk and Bibi or something like that? And it was UPS. Some weird names were on that list. I don't know what was on that list.
UPS.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Tom, your thoughts on this?
So I was really irritated for most of this thing because number one, there's nothing to be gained getting in a spat with the Pope.
No,
that's the one guy. There's just really nothing to be gained. You got to back off. And I think, and this may not be popular, I think Trump got baited because I think it was the news media that was trying to create the controversy. Because remember, anything that can make Trump look bad, they want to pin on him. Anything that they can create another group being upset, they want to create it. They want to foment. So it's basically the entire left wing. I'm gonna stop calling them the MSM. I'm gonna start calling them the Sololinsky gang, right? Because they're just using the same techniques, at the underground, right, to go and do this. And so it's like, hey, Mr. President, don't bite on these things, on this stuff like this. I think that's what happened, and it's annoying.
Well, BBD, can you help me be positive for a second? This is the first American Pope. We have a pro-America president. What can the Pope and Trump do to help unify America? Because the only way America is ever going to lose anything is if you manufacture the fracture.
Yeah.
If there's a fracture inside here, have they met yet in person? What can they do to bring America together? What can the Pope and Trump do to work together to help America win more? You thought about that?
Listen, I don't know, but let me ask you a question. If you were a betting person, would you bet that the President Trump and the Pope are going to do something together before the end of the year?
They have to, yeah.
What do you think?
I think this actually might turn out to be a good.
I know.
It might return.
I actually think they're going to do something together because I think the Pope will. The Pope will do something together. Anything that brings more attention to the Christianity and the faith, you ought to do it. So I think that's going to be taking place. I was never a fan of the picture that was posted. I've never been a fan of stuff like that, ever. Never, ever play God. Like, there is if you ever read the book 40 Laws of Power, you know what law number 1 is?
Never outshine the master.
Never, ever. And not only that's the book, and we're Assyrians, we learned the hard way. We're trying to, Vinny and I have been trying for 47 years to go back and do vacation at Assyria, the country. We're having a hard time finding the place.
Yeah.
It's not on the map, and there's a reason for that. Let me continue. Yes. Assyria. Let me get to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is maybe a quick story. Rob, can you pull up this poll? You just had it. You had one of the tweets of showing which type of kids. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Rob? Which political party deals with the most amount of mental illness? Have you seen this?
No.
Have you seen this video?
No.
Check this out. So make it bigger, Rob, so we can kind of show it to the audience. Watch this. Percentage of young people diagnosed with a mental health problem, whites under the age of 40.
Like and subscribe. Let's get to 2,000 subs. 2,000 subs. Why not?
Who are strong Democrats. 41% of those that are weak Democrats. 35% of independents, 30% of weak Republicans, 50% of strong.
Found the cure. We found the cure to mental health.
It is. Tom, how do you process this information, Tom, when you read
I'd like to thank you all for being here today. We'll be back Wednesday. I'd like to end on a high note. How do I process this?
How do you process
it? I'll tell you how I process this. I would process on a processing line and on a logic line. So logic and emotion. You could draw the line of logic from strong Republican to emotion on strong Democrat. You could draw it that way. And I also, believe you could do processing, willingness to process. So closed-minded. I think if you do closed-minded versus open-minded, you know what I mean, Pat? Like willing to debate, willing to
Thank you guys for being in the chat. Thank you guys for being in the chat. Appreciate it. Name is Deunta. Thank you guys.
Willing to listen to your point. Who says that? Strong Republican or strong Democrat? No, the strong Republican says that. Willing to debate, willing to be open. Strong Democrat says, no, you're wrong. You should be canceled and shut down. So this lines up with me, and I think it lines right up with a logic and emotion line, and it lines right up with a willing to process, not willing to process. And guess what? Unwilling to process, closed-minded, and unwilling to debate, and you end up in your own anger. Guess what you have? You have these screaming middle-aged white women that we've seen in videos going, what is her problem and what is going on?
I think there's a major correlation here between what people use as their identity. If you looked at strong Democrats, they identify with material things like gender identity, their sexual orientation, all these things. You go down the list, you get to strong Republican, and their identity comes from faith. I've suffered from mental health issues. I've suffered from all types of stuff. And faith was the one thing that saved me. And I guarantee you, if you looked at that 15% strong Republican, the reason that it's so low comparatively is because they have something to root them.
What a great point. What a great point, Vinny.
I agree 100%. And if you think about it, you don't get to 56% by accident. When you raise a generation inside of a system that leads one way from top to bottom, think about it. And you mentioned this multiple times, Pat. The schools, the colleges, the professors, they're all pushing that woke agenda nonsense. It's hate, it's anger, from the media, from all the fears, from all the crisis, from social media, from the gender stuff and everything. Fake news and all that stuff, that's them. When I was on Piers, I did that thing about before and after these people that have Trump derangement syndrome, and I tell people they just had everybody, and Trump, love him or hate him, however you feel, you have to admit what he did to the system made people go absolutely nuts. And I connected a guy yesterday, and I told him there should be a class action lawsuit, and I'm not being funny at all, for what they did to people's brains. Because, bro, TDS is an actual thing where psychiatry.
I agree with you, Vinny.
It's like, shouldn't they all get together and say, hey, you lied? And mind you, if Trump is out there, you think God came out of it, right? If Trump is out there and he's made I think 60 or 70 million suing whoever he sued, all these major networks, because they lied. If you've ruined somebody's brain where they turned into a Carville and they're like everybody that, if that has happened to you, I think you should get a class action, get a lawyer and go and sue them. So that goes to the diagnosed with mental health problems. That's what it is. You don't talk to anybody. You're in your bubble. Your parents are just jamming drugs down your throat. You don't have any faith in you. You're Ritalin. Yeah. What is a woman? If that's where you're at. This chart, by the way, this is by the data is by the U.S. General Social Survey. This isn't some rinky-dink survey. This is legitimate, and I think it's just a testament, an example of what these people are just brainwashing you with when you're falling for it.
I did a study on mass psychosis. I don't know if you guys know the Ash experiment and Milgram experiment back in the day. Two very unique experiments to see how people could harm people in their own circle. One of them was the one where they literally put people into shock, people and authorities telling them to. The other one was about conformity, the Ash conformity experiment, where you had lines and people would literally deny what they saw with their own eyes because everyone else said these lines don't line up.
Yeah.
We're seeing that today with the Democratic Party. I did a social experiment where I had people come in. They thought they were on a TV show. They thought that they were there to cancel somebody. They had the choice. There were two other judges. There were social media influencers. Everyone was an actor except for them. They thought it was live TV. And we had a guy in the other room who had apparently wrote a book about affirmative action and was a lawyer. And because of the social pressure, every single person voted to cancel that person for his book and ruin his life. We made it harder, because I wanted to see if humanizing people would work. We brought people into the room to meet him accidentally before, like in the waiting room. And then we came in, we said, oh, you weren't supposed to meet. But while they were in the room, the lawyer, the fake lawyer, said, my daughter has leukemia. I wrote this book to take care of her. They still canceled him.
My.
When you want to understand, only one person was not willing to cancel him, and he had an emotional breakdown. When you want to understand how deep this is, I sat there watching, almost in tears, as I watched people proudly destroy someone's life whose daughter they believed had leukemia and needed this treatment. They did not care because he wrote a book on affirmative action.
Oh, wow.
So this is you're literally right when you say it's mass psychosis.
I think it is. I truly think it is. And it all started with Trump's victory.
So you're asking the question: what's the biggest difference between this chart between a far left Democrat and a far?
And just a regular Republican.
I mean, there's a couple of things at the foundation. One believes in equality. One believes in equity. The foundation right there. One wants control. One wants freedom, liberty. Right? Remember the speech that the new face of the Democratic Party, Zoran Mamdani, gave on when he was sworn in? He says we're going to replace rugged individualism with the warmth blanket of collectivism, aka Marxism, aka communism, aka we're going to seize the means of production. Manufacture the fracture. What's going on here? Tom hit the nail on the head with emotions. You know, facts don't care about your feelings. You talk about not having God, atheism, anti-God. All of it leads to a point where they're going insane, and then you have just people with common sense being like, I don't like what's going on here. And they say something about it. I didn't get a chance to say it. Remember that video that you just played about Corina Maria Machado? And I go, is that in Venezuela? Goes in Spain. I don't know if you can pull that up, just the tagline. They said, all right-wing people need to realize what's going on. No. Common sense people. Because you don't need to. People ask you, are you a Republican? I'm a common sense, bro. If I see the Republicans go off the Richter scale, I'll go back to the left. But at this point, here it is right here.
Let me tell you, though.
The left is so insane.
I'm never going to the left. Period. Fuck that.
How can you endorse that?
I get it. But to me, that entire chart, go back to that chart, Rob, and I want to play another clip that, Tom, you're probably not expecting me to play this clip, but I want to get your reaction to it. The only difference here is, which one of these guys you think goes to church the most?
The strong Republican?
The strong Republican.
Of course.
Kids who go, dude, we're on a flight. Like, listen, my boys, their faith, we're in the car and Vinny will say stuff and Dylan will, and that's what happened. And then Tico and Danza, they go to school and they're heavily involved in it. But I will tell you, we're on the flight. I wish you were on this flight just to experience this with us. We're on the flight. We're traveling. We're 47 years old. This is top 5 worst flight of my lifetime. The pilot is deciding in terrible weather with strong winds to go around a mountain to a private airport that no one has been landing all day. Our pilot, okay, cowboy. This guy's like, hey, we're going to go do it. And me and Vinny are sitting there in the back playing cards, very calm. Yeah.
If you haven't subscribe, everybody. Why not? Why not subscribe? Thank you, guys.
Playing a joke with Vinny. She's like, hey, see you in heaven. And just joke. Not the types of jokes you're supposed to say. No. Like, they haven't been briefed on it yet. They got briefed afterwards. And then we land, and we're talking to Dylan. We're like, Dylan, you weren't scared at all? No. Why not? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to meet Jesus. Wow. By the way, he says this, reaction like this. Mm-hmm. Reaction like this. I didn't have that as a kid. Yeah. Like this. Faith plays a massive, massive role in mental health problems. Mm-hmm. Because for you, no matter what you're going through, I had a conversation late last night with somebody that this is an area they really have a hard time with. It's a family member. And I'm on the phone. I'm like, I said, you got to figure out a way to get close because everything to you is the end of the world and everything is crisis. You don't even know it. Every time you call, I told this person this last night, every time you call, your name is on the phone. What feeling do you think you provide to the other people that's seeing you when you call them? Whether you know it or not, whoever you call and whoever calls, you produce a feeling when you see their name on the phone. Oh, yeah. I said, you know what feeling you provide when you call? What? This person said what? I said anxiety. Oh, man. Every single time. I said, you do that to everybody. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. Every time your name is on the phone is anxiety. I know 50% of bad news is going to be delivered. Why? Faith is not in that person's life. They're not going in thinking that the future looks bright because what is the backbone of future looks bright? Like we talk about future looks bright. Oh, future looks bright. They're just selling hats and shirts and all this stuff. Do you really want to know why do you think the whole FLB brand can sell a hat that says faith over fear? Why? Because future looks bright. Looks bright because we have faith over fear. The whole concept is faith. If you don't have faith, how do you know the future looks bright? You tell me where the concept of future looks bright comes from if you don't have faith.
What's up? Thank you, guys. Thank you for that star. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got faith. What am I going to tell you?
You guys don't know I'm Deontay. Thank you. Like and subscribe. I go live in the mornings when I can. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Let's grow.
Everything's going to work out. So I do believe that, as you look at that chart, and Jonathan Haidt, if you haven't yet read his book, Anxious Generation, I've been recommended this book for 2 years. Parents,
what's up, Jason? How you doing, Ashley?
I want to play another clip here. This other clip I want to play you.
Great morning.
Is a story of, let me find this clip.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Let me send it over your way. Here's a man who he is being interviewed to talk about what technology has done to our kids and what the role of technology has been historically every single time we introduce new technology to kids. Rob, I want you to play the one from X because it's a lot cleaner without the start. So here's Dr. Jared Cooney Horvath, okay? Let's forget about his middle name. But Dr. Jared Horvath is giving this message, and I want to. Can you go all the way to the top, Rob, for me to read some of the quote? Okay, he breaks down, delivered the brutal truth parents and educators need to face. His core warning: Gen Z is the first modern generation to be. Well, I'll let him say it. Rob, play the clip. It is so powerful. How long is it, man? We can't watch the whole thing, but we'll watch the first 2 minutes. Go ahead, Rob.
My name is Dr. Jared Cooney Horvath. I'm a former teacher turned cognitive neuroscientist who focuses on human learning. And I do not receive funding, nor have I ever from big tech. So a sad fact our generation has to face is this. Our kids are less cognitively capable than we were at their age. Since we've been standardizing and measuring cognitive development since the late 1800s, every generation has outperformed their parents. And that's exactly what we want. We want sharper kids. And the reason for this largely has been school. Each generation spends more time in school. We use school to develop our cognition. Congratulations, you see your correlation. Until Gen Z, Gen Z is the first generation of modern history to underperform us on basically every cognitive measure we have, from basic attention to memory to literacy to numeracy to executive functioning to even general IQ, even though they go to more school than we did. So why? What happened around 2010 that decoupled schooling from cognitive development? It can't be school. Schools basically look the same. It can't be biology. This hasn't had enough time to change. The answer appears to be the tools we are using within schools to drive that learning. Across 80 countries, as Gene was just saying, if you look at the data, once countries adopt digital technology widely in schools, performance goes down significantly. To the point where kids who use computers about 5 hours per day in school for learning purposes will score over 2/3 of a standard deviation less than kids who rarely or never touch tech at school. And that's across 80 countries. Bring it home to the US. Let's go to the US. We have our NAEP. That's our big data. Take any state. Here's a fun experiment you can try. Take any state NAEP data. Compare that to when that state adopted one-to-one technology widely, and watch what happens. The NAEP data will plateau and then start to drop. Now, as Gene said, of course, this is all correlative. What we really want is positive.
Good morning, Pat. Good morning. Good morning.
Explanations for why we're seeing what we're seeing. Luckily, we have academic research stretching back to 1962 that shows the exact same story for 60 years. When tech enters education, learning goes down. In fact, one of the biggest ed psychologists right now, Dylan William out of the UK, recently said, ed tech is a revolution that's been coming for 60 years. And we're going to have to wait another 60 because it ain't doing anything. Now, that's research, but now we need mechanisms. Luckily, over the last about 2 decades, we've been doing a lot of work on what we call the science of learning. How do human beings learn? We now have the clear understanding of why tech does not work for learning, and it is all biological. It's not that the tech isn't being used well enough, we haven't been trained enough, we need better programs. It's we have evolved biologically to learn from other human beings, not from screens, and screens circumvent that process. I won't go too deeply into the mechanisms, they can get boring, but just know they're there if you want to talk about them. So that leaves us with 2 options. Option 1, when you know something is wrong, do better. So we could just say, hey, mea culpa, get some of this tech out of schools, go back to what we know works, some analog methods, cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm 82 baby, so I grew up, you know what I'm saying, without having cell phones in schools or having a cell phone, and also bringing in the iPhone as well, Apple computers and all that. So yeah, anybody from 82 and up, yeah, we got the chance to usher in all that stuff, and that I'm also able to be able to kick it by ourselves without having any friends around. I got 6 brothers and sisters, but I was kept to myself in a way, you know. I didn't need nobody to be around me. I ain't need no crowd or all that other stuff. I just kept to myself. People came to me because I was kept it real, kept it honest. And also, I just sit back and just listen, you know. That's the thing, too. Sometimes just listen. Let's continue. Like and subscribe.
Or 2, we could redefine our terms. We could redefine what it means to be an effective learner. I want to end with one quick story here. Think back to your childhood, to your schooling. I guarantee all of us at one point took a test on reading comprehension. And the way it looked is this. Here's a passage of about 750 words. Here are 10 to 12 questions about that passage. Most of them are inferential, not factual. They're asking you to go beyond what you just read to see what you understood. Cool. Last year, the SATs had a reading comprehension section. Here's what it looked like. Here is a single sentence of 75 words. Here is one question, fact-based, about that sentence. Next. Here is another sentence of 75 words. Here is one question about that sentence. Next. Last year, they redefined reading comprehension to mean 54 short sentences with one question about each. That is skimming. That's not reading. Why would we ever do that? Because what do kids do on computers? They skim. So rather than determining what do we want our children to do and gearing education towards that, we are redefining education to better suit the tool. That's not progress. That is
exactly. Exactly. What a powerful thing that this fellow's talking about. Tom, your thoughts on this?
So, married to a teacher, I'll tell you a very, very interesting story here. They've done tests with live human teachers. And what they did, they took a group of kids and they told the kids. And Dennis Wheatley, The Psychology of Winning, he talked about this in I saw him give a talk. This goes way back. I think he passed away a couple of years ago.
He wrote one of the best motivational books of all time that athletes read, business owners read, business salespeople read. It's a phenomenal book.
Yep. So what do you talk about? A teacher goes into a class, an average public high school that's in a marginal area of town, not downtown, not uptown, just average. And what they did, it was like 5th grade. They said, by the way, all of the students in this class, according to the tests that we've been taking, are high-achieving students. Congratulate yourselves. You're all high-achieving students. And so what they did, they kept reinforcing that. And they reinforce it. And Kim can tell you about this. Guess what happens? the test scores there were better than the previous year's class of student. Why? Because what did they put in the kid's head? The assumption that we're going to do well, and it was human teaching, looking at them and directly complimenting them. Wow, Elon, that's really, really good. This is why you're all in here, this class with us, where we're all going to do very well together, where we're all very good at this. And so what happens is it goes right into here we go, the subtle what of what?
Low expectations.
Correctamundo. That's exactly what it is. So human teaching and connecting with human and instilling, quality impressions and then teaching human to human works best. Now, can you read a book? Can the textbook be on, an ebook? Sure it can. And if you're going to read, it can. But this is absolutely correct that digital leads to skimming, and skimming leads to lower comprehension. And now even the SAT has completely taken a left turn. If the SAT or the Stanford 9 will go back to taking the large blocks and then test differential, there would be a parental uprising in America. But against who? The teachers' unions in every town. And we can't have that.
Do you actually think it's better to take the technologies out, Tom?
I think if the technology is only used to so you don't have to print the book, I like that. I want human connection.
You know what happened yesterday? I'm having a conversation with one of the young boys in our family. Okay, I'm gonna try to say this in a way that figure out who it is. Love this kid. He's phenomenal. Very, very good kid. So a week ago, I bought him a book. Okay, and I gave him this book 9 days ago. And while he's with me, I ask him a question. I say, by when will you finish this book? Now, he's not a reader, so he doesn't read books. And school grades is okay, but he's not like a straight A kid that, aces everything. That's not him. His strength is in a different place. He's got a high EQ, okay? Not on this side. So he's got a very, very high EQ. So anyways, I said, when will you finish this book? He says to me, by next Friday, meaning 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I said, I'm going to ask it to you one more time. Because whatever you tell me, I'm going to hold you to it. When will you finish this book? He said, no, I'm telling you by next Friday. It's okay. No problem. I'm the wrong guy to make a commitment and stay and not do it.
Oh, yeah.
He says, no, I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. I said, great. Friday, he texts me. I said, where are you at? He said, I'm at page 50. I haven't finished the book. I said, yeah, listen, I'm not interested in this kind of stuff that you're doing with me. If you want me to work with you, and then I asked the parents, how much leeway are you giving me to challenge your kid? I specifically asked them, I said, I want to be aligned because I don't want you to come back and say you're pushing too hard. And they said, we're on the same page, we're aligned. Fantastic. I'm going to push them. And if you're okay with it, I'm going to go hard, no problem. Text me. I'm not responding back because you didn't respond back to my commitments. Great. Calls me yesterday, sends me a report, finished the book cover to cover. And late at night, 8:30, whatever time it is, he says, hey, when can we talk? All day he's texting me, when can we talk? When can we talk? I said, when I get a time, I'll call you. So I call him. And I said, go ahead. What did you take away from the book? He starts telling me what he took away from the book. Tom, it was as if he saw a new world. Because he's never read not a business book. He doesn't read books like this. And by the way, it's a phenomenal book that every parent who has a kid playing sports, you have to have your kids read this book. We probably sold 5,000 copies of books today, and we're not even, none of these books are ours. We're terrible at selling. But
Good morning.
He's like, and he said this. And then he was telling the story about the scroll, and he said this. And then this one girl that was playing tennis, and he said this. You could see the shine. Versus, when the phone is, he's always like this. Because it's always on. It drives me insane. Our kids, my oldest son is 14 years old. He still has no social media. He's the only kid that has no social media. Zero. He has nothing. His phone, it's only because he goes running and mom's trying to get a hold of him. Dylan's like that. When can I get a phone? All my friends. Senna's 9 years old. Her friends at 8 years old had cell phone and social media. the kids have nothing. It's so hard to keep it apart for this long. By the way, can we recommend the book, Rock? Can you pull up the book? It's called The Game of Tennis.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate
Rob,
it.
if you can pull this up, it's got nothing to do with tennis.
Inner game of tennis.
It's the inner game of tennis of mentally developing the mindset that a ton of professional quarterbacks, athletes have read this book. Coaches have been recommended this book. It's an incredible book to read, The Inner Game of Tennis by Timothy Galway. Look at the number of reviews, by the way. 9,872 reviews written in 1997, and the forward is Pete Carroll. You kind of see this. I think
Coach.
Pete Carroll. So what are your thoughts about what he said in the video?
I think that human nature strives for efficiency. Sometimes that's extremely good. Sometimes it leads to, I think, what we're seeing now, which is the, many ways, not to sound like weird, but like the death of the human spirit. Because what you were just talking about, reading a book where your mind has to work to create the imagery, your mind has to understand. We're going more and more and more efficient. I don't even think we're touching the start of what this will lead to, because with AI, the tools become exponentially more efficient. It's not like a regular linear curve. This will exponentially increase to the point where all information, every task, everything is done for humans. It's like the movie WALL-E back in the day. Humans are not we're intended to struggle. So we're reaching a point where we're going to have to create our own struggle. I think it's Pandora's box. It's out of the box at this point. We're not going to go back to before this. The question is, how do we deal with it now that it's here? How do we get people to understand that this isn't necessarily a good thing? And I'm very, very worried about what this looks like in the future. I've been looking at AI for a very long time.
And I get to see it in real time, because when we're out or we're at a dinner and there's 4 kids, none of them are on a phone. They don't have a phone. When I tell you the conversations, at Tom, you're there all the time, Pat. Bro, we're sitting all around each other, and I have a 14-year-old that will not stop talking to me about God, about Jesus, about politics, about, did you see this? Did you see that? As he's still talking, Dylan is talking to me about Uncle Vinny, sports. What about this? What about that? Senna's talking. It's bro, you're immersed in conversation. Nobody. And then me and Humberto, yesterday we're at Cheesecake Factory. Very, very big menu. I highly recommend you do research before you go. There's
especially if you're Humberto.
The menu, no joke, is like this. Humberto, like, it wasn't. We were arguing over.
That's a reading book in itself.
That's a book in itself. Shout out to Cheesecake Factory author. But we're sitting there, and Humberto can vouch back. I'm sitting. It's a parent, husband, wife, one more friend. The kids for 1 hour. Not even joking. We're like this, and the kid has big goggles because he's like this. He can't see, and not one peep from any of the kids until they left. And then as they're walking away, the kid couldn't even put it down, and the parent had to grab it. I'm telling you right now, it's an uncomfortable conversation, because I see it. The kids are like, well, these people have it. These people have it. They don't understand the great thing that you're giving them, because at some point it's inevitable, bro. They're going to be 16. They're going to be 18. They're going to have it. But this development stage, you have to have it, because, bro, you could go on a road trip with Tico. He shuts the music off. He goes, I want to just talk to you, Uncle Vinny. I'm like, we can put whatever you want. Amazing. He's like, no, I want to talk. We talk for an hour in the car. He just wants to have a conversation. I think that's what you have to do. It's that uncomfortable moment, because guess what? Everybody else has one. You're not going to have one. And I think that's a hard conversation to have.
Look, I think this is probably the most important conversation in America today. What our kids are learning and reading and using tech, and when they should be able to use tech. So Tico's 14, hasn't had a cell phone yet. My nephew's 13, has no cell phone. He wanted to get one for his bar mitzvah. We said, nah, buddy, wait until you're 16. That's a whole conversation. Why? That story you just told about whoever that was, how old he doesn't read books, but he didn't have the highest IQ, had a high EQ. That was me. I remember in high school, look, I did not want to read books. I would get good grades just because I knew stuff I would study. But if you give me a 200-page book, I'd be like, can we get some Cliff Notes over here? Remember when Cliff Notes were a thing?
Yeah.
Think about this now. Cliff Notes, you have to go buy it. It was still 50 pages. You can do a chat GPT. Give me the book summary, of any book you want. Mm-hmm. Bingo. So, someone said to me that it goes, if you put the work in, it'll work out. I said, oh, I like that. The problem is you don't have to put any work in. Life is so easy. You can get whatever you want, snap of a finger, press of a button, and then what happens? They get anxious. They get depressed because we're making up problems in America today. What's the book? Anxious Generation.
Yeah. Amazing.
John, right? They're making up things to get depressed about and anxious about because of this.
Yeah.
This is the greatest tool or greatest weapon, depending on how you look at it.
Parents, it's on you though, parents.
Yeah.
It's totally on you. It's not easy. I get it. People will connect, and trust me, as a parent, I screw up all the flipping time parenting. You make mistakes all the flipping time. You ain't gonna do it right. Like, all of us are like, you ever go on the out to dinner and a husband and wife are there? It's like, oh my God, we just celebrate our anniversary. And then, so what did your husband do? And the wife starts explaining what the husband did. And you're like, can you already just shut up? Everything was so perfect. And your wife is sitting there and it's like, why can't she do something?
Okay, you guys, today I just need to get some things off my chest. Okay, I'm gonna try to be brief, but y'all know how I can get. At this point, do y'all know what I'm tired of? I am tired of hearing grown people. I'm talking whole grown folks with microphones, degrees, grants, nonprofits, pulpits, platforms, and you name it. I'm tired of them crying about oppression while they're sitting in institutions that are already run by people who look exactly like them. Like, y'all are the ones in charge. I mean, have you looked around lately? I'm in Atlanta. AT Hell is what I like to call it. We've got black mayors, black city council, black police chiefs, the black school superintendents, black school boards, a whole lot of black churches, a whole lot of black colleges. We got black nonprofits, black activists, black media voices, black thought leaders, black congressional districts. I mean, a whole black political machine that's run like a whole crime syndicate, and yet somehow, after all of that, are we still supposed to believe that the big bad boogeyman that is keeping Black America down is the rich white Republicans who, when you look around, y'all.
Hold on. I guess I did good for you. Hold on. Here we go.
So today we have to talk about the Al Sharpton National Action Network Convention, where typically I call this event, it is a gathering of the pulpit pimp, race hustling, race trading class, where they kind of gather their henchmen together to sit around and to beg, whine, cry, to be real nostalgic about slavery and to further perpetuate more victimhood and then see who is going to win the gold medal for running the fastest in the Victim Olympics. And today I want to react to Cro-Magnon Man was at the National Action Network Convention, and here we're going to listen to him dang another juicy carrot in front of the Black Democrat delegation class and make promises that he know he can't keep. And I just wanted to react to it. There's a lot to unpack here, and there's a lot that I can say about it.
For me, that's not enough. We also have legislation for what we call a Department
Thank
of
you, Amanda.
Reconciliation.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Amanda.
We have
Like
to
and
reconcile our
subscribe.
differences.
Thank you, Amanda. Like and subscribe.
And this goes beyond African Americans, the Trail of Tears, what happened to the Japanese internments. We've got to reconcile our differences. So we need a Secretary of Reconciliation, just as we have a Secretary of Education, a Secretary of Labor. We need a Secretary of Reconciliation who will report directly to a president, not this president.
Okay, before we get into the reparations discussion, I first want to address this new division that he decides that is necessary called the Department of Reconciliation. And he claims it's because we need reconciliation. And I'm like, who? Who needs reconciliation? And then reconciliation for what? Like, this is a Democrat doing what Democrats do. They want more big government and more bureaucracy and more departments so they can demand money and appropriations to do absolutely nothing. What in the heck is a Department of Reconciliation? Who makes up this department, and what exactly needs to be reconciled? See, those of us who are Black Americans, he says it's not just for Black Americans. He claimed for the Native American, and Lord knows who else he's including in this discussion. But for the Black American who recognizes themselves as a freedom-loving American, like we assert our freedom everywhere we go, and we believe that we are actually citizens of this country, there is nothing for us that needs to be reconciled. We have, first of all, if you're a Christian, we already know we've been reconciled to Christ, and therefore we've been reconciled to one another. We hold no animosity or ill will toward others who don't look like us. We are not carrying the baggage and the trauma of slavery, because for one, we were never slaves. I am so confused as to what the heck is a Department of Reconciliation. What is it that you want? Hear me clearly. No one is denying that slavery wasn't real and that slavery didn't happen. But blood was shed on U.S. soil fighting a war, brother against brother, over the issue of slavery. White men fought over the issue of slavery. Black freedmen fought over the issue of slavery. What more? What is more valuable than the blood that was shed at Antietam and Gettysburg and Yorktown? What more do you want? I can tell you what you want. You don't want to be reconciled to anyone. Because if reconciliation truly took place, which for many of us it has, this is why we're conservatives, is because we are.
This is April Chapman. Like and subscribe to her channel. This is April. She cooking.
Already reconciled, that we've been reconciled. We don't harbor unforgiveness in our heart toward anyone, and we have peace with God, which therefore gives us peace with man. We don't need to be reconciled. You are the one that still has grievance, and your grievances can never be ameliorated and they can never be pacified, because you are at war with God. Therefore, you are at war with your fellow man. No one is doing anything to you to where you feel that you need to be reconciled. But this is a Black Democrat. Remember, the Iron Triangle is the consortium of the Black pulpit prep, the Black preacher. You see here, right here, you see Al Sharpton. He's the Black preacher. Then you have the Black civil rights worker. So he's in a dual capacity right here, because he's a Black pulpit preacher and he's a Black civil rights leader or activist. And then the Black politician. The three of them work together to keep the Black community subjugated and controlled and dependent on the government. And so their only solution is more government. They don't want to empower you to function in your freedom and to be acclimated into American society. They want to keep you tethered to slavery in all of its trauma and all of its memory. Earlier in this discussion, he talked about having a remembrance day for slavery. We are the only people group who go out of their way to celebrate the fact that we were conquered, captured, subjugated, and enslaved for centuries. I'm sorry, but that's not a flex. And that's not something that I want to be remembered. We can remember it, but I don't want to build it in memorial. I'm no longer a slave. I'm free in Jesus. And I would rather look or treat it like the children of Israel looked at how God brought them out of Egypt, how God raised up a Moses to deliver them from Pharaoh's hand. They don't want to remember being enslaved. They want to remember how the Lord freed them. But these people, because they are spiritually in bondage and they're slaves to sin, they cannot view slavery in that way. So getting back to him in this Department of Reconciliation, let me tell you what this is really about. Democrats do not believe that Black Americans have the capacity or the desire to function in their freedom. And that's kind of true, because if they did, they wouldn't still be voting for the party of their slave master. But because they love their slave master is why they still vote for Democrats. But Democrat politicians, they need more government. So with big government and more government comes a new government program. So how Donald Trump is trying to lessen and weaken government overreach in your life by getting rid of the Department of Education and giving you the power and the choice to decide how to educate your children.
Subscribe, everybody. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Let's get to 2,000 subs. Why not? Like and subscribe.
A Black Democrat, on the other hand, wants to create another department, another layer of bureaucracy and government overreach, and he wants to label it the Department of Reconciliation. And this Department of Reconciliation serves only one purpose. It's for Black Democrat politicians like him to pass legislation so that they can bum money off the government to give, quote unquote, back to their districts so that they can get a cut. But we don't need a Department of Reconciliation. No one is confused about the issue of slavery except the lazy, weak, whiny Negro who's never been a slave, who don't want to get it out the mud and function in their freedom, but would rather beg the government, the same government that they claim is oppressing them, they want to beg the government for a check. Not tell the government to get the heck out of their way to remove the artificial weights that prevent them from flourishing and functioning in their freedom. No, they want to demand from the government another department. First, let me say this. How is the government going to create a Department of Reconciliation? How are you going to demand that the government that you claim is white supremacist and oppressive towards you and your people, and that owe you all of these things? How can that government also be the ones in charge of reconciling anything? You claim they've not addressed your grievances, so how can they be the ones in charge of a Department of Reconciliation and then appoint a Secretary of Reconciliation? What is this person going to reconcile you to? What is the problem? What is it that you don't have? What is it that has not been reconciled? Because I can show you the names of the Black soldiers of the 54th Massachusetts that fought for your freedom. And when I say your freedom, I am talking about the Black slaves' freedom. Not your freedom, because you was born free. Now, I was born free too. But for the Black slaves who chose to remain a slave instead of fighting with the Union Army for their liberty, the 54th Massachusetts shed their blood and they died to liberate individuals who didn't participate, who didn't give permission, and it was done without their knowledge. So what are we reconciling here? There's nothing to reconcile. There's no amount of money that's going to satisfy you. You know how I know this? Because when the Southern Homestead Act was given, you had the opportunity, the freed, the newly emancipated slave had the opportunity to go out west and go and acquire 160 acres of land, as long as they would work the land for 5 years, pay a filing fee, and it would be theirs. We couldn't get them to go. Less than 5,000 people went out there and settled out of the millions of slaves. So this Department of Reconciliation is stupid. And it only represents another layer of government that Democrats can say, see, look here, we're doing something. And this Department of Reconciliation is simply going to demand money and more resources, which means more of your taxpayer money that's going to be unaccounted for. And it's not going to do anything on the ground into the hands of the people. I don't need you to administer how my tax dollars are going to be used. I prefer to keep more of what I earn, and I don't want to give you more for you to decide what needs to be done. Because I don't think a Department of Reconciliation is necessary. But now, Let us listen to him talk about reparation, the juicy carrot that he gonna keep dangling in front of these Negroes' faces in hopes that it's going to elicit some votes for him. Listen to this.
Directly to a president. And the job would be to reconcile our differences, and that reconciliation for me, I say this with no shame, no embarrassment. I am unapologetically Black, and I say this, that would include reparations for the 240 years of free labor that people still benefit today from, and that we were locked out of
Thank you.
along the way while they were benefiting. So I believe in
No. If the argument is that slaves were locked out of opportunity because they were a slave, then my question is, why didn't they do anything in their power to be emancipated like over 200,000 slaves who chose and decided that I'm not going to be your slave. I'm going to run away. I'm going to revolt. I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do because I'm not going to be your slave. Here you have someone in 2026 who looks like he's been here since AD 26. Talk about the Department of Reconciliation needs to also include reparations for the descendants of slaves. How he believes that descendants of slaves are owed anything after this country has done so much. Now, see, when I speak like this, the average pro-woke, Black, they don't.
Good morning, Brian. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody.
They don't believe that life is valuable. See, when you're a Black Democrat and you can vote for abortion up until the 9th month, you don't really value life that way. You don't see it as valuable and worthy of dignity and respect. So because a pro-woke, Black doesn't value life in the womb, when I talk about the Black soldiers of the 54th Regiment who fought to free you, the slave, without your knowledge, participation, or your permission, and I say their bloodshed should have been enough. That was enough payment for your freedom. You didn't participate in your own emancipation. They showed up to your plantation and read the Emancipation Proclamation to you. And you were like, oh, we free now. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it means you are free to go. And under the weight of that, you know that there was still some slaves. They were like, I don't really know what to do with that. So I'm gonna just stay here because all I know is being a slave. And I'm not judging them for that. If that was their choice, then choose to stay on the plantation, let master take care of you. I just recently visited the Old City Cemetery in Lynchburg, Virginia, where there was a whole plot of a whole white family. And you know who was also buried in that plot? Mammy.
Reparation is silly. Because number one, it's going to start with Africa. So you got to start with Africa first, then work your way from there. So it is stupid.
They're slaves who served their family faithfully for over 40 years. I don't judge Mammy's decision to remain a slave. I judge the ones who chose and made that decision and then complain about it, whose descendants are still out here complaining now. If you did nothing to assert your freedom and you chose to remain under the bonds of slavery, I don't want to hear you complaining about it because you chose. You made your decision. I'm uninterested in hearing your whining and crying and ungratefulness for the decision that you made. Because Frederick Douglass made it very clear he didn't want to be no slave no more. He didn't want to be a slave. So when you talk about this Department of Reconciliation, the job of the Secretary of Reconciliation is to help us reconcile our differences. What differences? We're all made in the image of God, and we're all just varying degrees of brown, shades of brown and melanin. Yes, we have cultural differences, But if we're Americans, what is it that Black Americans need reconciled? You know what? There are some things that need to be reconciled. You need to reconcile the fact that you ain't gonna never get reparations. And you need to reconcile the fact, if you are a Black Democrat, that it's never going to happen, because if it were going to happen, the only time I could see where it was remotely possible that it was going to happen was during Barack Obama's first term, when he had a filibuster-proof majority. That man could have passed anything he wanted. How many times did the issue of reparations come up? That's how many times it came up. And it came up 0 times because they know there is no possible way that the U.S. Treasury is going to bankrupt itself, paying a bunch of ungrateful Black folks reparations in the form of cash payments. If reparations was remotely a viable option, it would have happened under the Black Messiah himself, Barack Obama, but it didn't happen. So that means you'll never get enough votes to pass it. We don't have enough money to pay what you believe you should be owed. And 3, I just told you what is more
Thank you guys.
valuable
Thank you.
than a reparations in the form
Almost
of
at
cash
2,000
payments
subs. Let's
to
get
be
it.
paid to the descendants of individuals who were never slaves. You owe your life and your sacred honor and the utmost respect to the men of the 54th Regiment who shed their blood on behalf of your ancestors who was too weak to fight on their own. You owe everything to the Black men who fought beside white men for their freedom. You owe everything to white abolitionists, particularly John Brown, who tried to take over the armory so that he could amass as many weapons as possible to arm the slaves, to fight against their masters. And you know what? He was out there fighting by himself, and he lost his life for it because he couldn't even muster up enough courage in the individuals who were slaves to fight for their own freedom. What the heck are you supposed to do with a people like that? There's nothing you can do if people will not, if people will not rise up and fight for their own freedom. There's nothing you can do but pity them. And this is why I pity the Black Democrat who'll sit and listen to people like Al Sharpton and people like Al Green lie to them and dangle a carrot in front of them of reparation, the hope of reparation, when the math doesn't even math. At this point, this is not even an ideological discussion. This is mathematics and economics. The U.S. government is not going to bankrupt the descendants of Black slaves a dime. And they'll never get enough votes in the House or the Senate to pass it. So instead of exerting energy, whining, crying, and begging, why waste your time doing that when you could be raising a family, learning how to be a good steward over the money you already have, learning your history and learning why voting for Democrats is actually voting for your own oppression and voting for your own subjugation? This is why I decided to do the documentary, Slavery is a Choice. Because when I see situations like this, and I see Black Democrats able to pull the wool over your eyes and make you think that he talking good, I am compelled. I gotta teach the people. People need to know that slavery is a choice. It was a choice then, and it's a choice now. Because every time you pull that lever for a Democrat, especially a Black one, you choose your own slavery. You've already decided who is supreme and master over you, because you look to them to provide for you and to give you something that only God can give you. These people can't give you freedom. They can't give you something that they don't even have. Not only are they a slave to sin and are spiritually blind, but they are spiritually dead. and they're not free. But guess what? God made you free.
Amen,
You
amen.
had enough sense enough.
Amen, amen. We are free because of God, not because of man. Not because of Trump, not because of Obama, none of these people, because of God. Amen.
Say, listen, I didn't want this war. I didn't want this nation fighting itself. But God in his providence used the issue of this war to settle once and for all the issue of slavery that God made you free. Listen, at the end of the day, I need people to understand that reparations is never going to happen. Okay, I know that's a struggle for a lot of people to get, particularly the pro-woke people, black crowd, and even those who are on the conservative side. They're individuals whose worldview has not really been shaped by history and by principle and by economics. So to them, it's like, well, yeah, blacks were slaves. So therefore, why wouldn't black people be owed reparations? My question is, who is going to pay it? And two, who is going to receive it? And three, the assumption is that reparations in a myriad of forms have not already been offered. It's just that everybody didn't take advantage of it. We had 2 Homestead Acts, and freed men had the opportunity. They could choose. See, the problem, I think, many of us want something handed to us. They literally want it packaged in the lap and say, here you go, versus understanding, look, if an opportunity presents itself and you choose not to take advantage of it, that's on you. But your ancestors don't get to come back 8 generations later begging and demanding money from people who, like, I had no part or lot in this whole situation. My people, if they did enslave your people, are dead. What does that have to do with me? Just like in the same way, my ancestors may have been subjugated by some white folks.
Right. Again, thank you guys. Thank you.
That is not my story. Why would I want to steal what I believe was owed to someone else and then take advantage of it just because? You've done nothing to earn it or deserve it. It's not owed to you. And then 4, I need black people to stop flexing about slavery as if it is a badge of honor. If your people were subjugated and were enslaved, you should be ashamed, and you shouldn't be bringing it up and talking about it all the time. They were conquered. It's not a flex to say my people were here and had their labor exploited and they were stolen and they were like, are you listening to yourself? No self-respecting person is going to talk about and extol the horrors of slavery as if it is virtuous and then demand to be paid for it. No, you should be saying we will never allow ourselves to be subjugated again. And as a result of that, we don't want anything from you. It's the government? Oh no. We just want you to get the heck out of our way and leave us alone. We don't want anything from you. But this whole reparations discussion is goofy to me. It is goofy to hear people who claim to be pro-black demanding money for labor that they never rendered. And then for freedom.
Yeah, this chat, I really like this chat. This chat is very live, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. You guys are a blessing. We 2 hours in, 18 minutes. I'm going to continue. You guys are a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. Let's continue. Everybody's welcome except for the bots. If you're a bot, you got to get up out of here. Other than that, let's go ahead and agree and disagree. We all Americans. If not, hey, welcome to the chat again. Name is Deunta. Thank you guys so much. We're growing. 1,800 subs. Thank you guys. Let's get to 2,000. Why not?
That they never fought for. The Black American slave was emancipated without their permission, knowledge, or their participation, unless your ancestors fought on behalf of the Union Army and shed some blood. If that's your people, then you are truly free and you earned your rights. But if that's not your story, then you just need to be quiet and you need to be real grateful that you are still living in the greatest nation on the face of the planet. And you just get to be here by merit of your birth alone, but not because you've done anything to deserve it. All of us, at the end of the day, deserve death. If you are a sinner, you deserve the wrath and curse of God. But his grace and mercy brought you
Amen
this
to
far.
that. Thank you.
Why would you
We're
spend all
growing,
of
we're
your
growing.
time
Thank you.
begging, whining, and crying for somebody else's money? It is the most trifling and disingenuous argument I've ever heard for individuals alive today to demand payment for labor that didn't even belong to them. I'm curious to know, do you believe that individuals like Al Green are being honest and forthright? Like, do you believe his desire to get this Department of Reconciliation started is because they actually plan to pay some reparations? Or do you believe that this is just another Democrat gimmick? They're losing power. They're losing control of the narrative. And Black people no longer trust them. And so they have to use this to get votes, but they don't really plan on delivering anything. Regardless of what your opinion is, leave in your comments down.
I'm a Donald Trump supporter.
I'd rather not. What an interesting hat to wear.
Long live Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome back to my channel. We're out here in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. It's my first time here, and I'm on Gay Street. Interesting name for a downtown street. Or on Gay Street. I'm here in the bag hat. Just going to film, see what happens. This is kind of a First Amendment audit again. If you guys like 1A audits, then go check out my 1A audit from South Beach, Miami. Really fun video. We had a great time down there. So we're doing it today solo in Knoxville. And let's see if... Spring formal. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Wonderful outfit. You know, I go to a lot of downtown areas across the country, and most of them disappoint me because they're just so small and empty. But there's a lot of foot traffic down here, which I like. A lot of foot traffic. Let me ask you guys a question. Does Knoxville support our president, Donald Trump?
I have no idea, but I would say that you do.
I do. Do you support our president? You don't. Why not?
I think he's out of control.
What's one thing he's doing that's out of control?
I think bombing the country without any provocation is a pretty big step.
Well, you know, the theory was that they have nuclear weapons that they're trying to develop.
He said that it obliterated that last year.
But you could always rebuild something that's been obliterated, right? It's crazy. Being a 1A auditor is so awkward because you just basically stand in public holding a camera. Lord protect me while I'm in these streets. I like your shirt.
Thank you. It's my shoe.
Hell yeah.
Allows you to read it.
So, being here for the first time, there definitely appears to be a lot of bars and restaurants. People are already indulging in a little happy hour. And I will be joined tomorrow by Freedom and Whiskey. She's meeting me for an art event that's happening here in Knoxville, Tennessee, called the Chalk Walk. So that's going to be a fun place to film content and people watch and meet people. How you doing?
Good. I'm on video.
You got good vibes.
I do. That's why I said I want to be on video. Yes.
Wait a minute. You're not no Trump man.
I'm a Donald Trump supporter.
Either way.
What were you going to say, though? You said make...
I was reading your hat.
Yeah, make America great again.
Not with him.
You don't like Donald Trump?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
He's done so much for the black community.
Yeah, so much. And look at the gas prices and food prices.
That's temporary. Give it a couple of
I
weeks.
like your shirt though, your jersey.
Thank you so much.
Hey, what color? We're not black.
God bless you guys. What kind of content are you creating today?
What's that?
What kind of content?
I go around and I take photos of random strangers and that kind of thing. So.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I do street content in the MAGA hat.
Oh,
I
right.
get reactions, have discussions about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, right on.
People like, to watch that stuff.
Yeah, I like to just travel, go to different places.
So you take photos of people just randomly?
Yeah.
And
I'll go up to a stranger and I'll be like, hey, I'm doing free.
Oh, so you actually ask them?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not an asshole, yeah.
Well,
Sometimes.
Well, the thing is, even if you didn't ask them, you'd be doing your First Amendment.
Well, yeah,
activity.
everybody has what your eyes can see.
Right, like I'm on being filmed right now.
Yeah,
Nobody asked me.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah.
That's cool though.
No, a lot of people don't know their First Amendment rights, and they don't. Well, it blows my mind. People think that there's privacy in public, but the word private and public are opposite.
Correct.
Right. So, why would you expect the opposite, of public in public? That's
Correct.
like expecting freedom in jail, or your ice cream to be hot,
Exactly.
or something. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you do this full time?
Yeah, I travel around. I just take pictures.
You want to shout out your channel?
Oh no.
All right.
Nah, don't worry about that. I honestly, it's kind of just a passion of mine. It's just fun. So
very cool.
I don't think I'm like so anti-social media. I don't think I posted anything on social media.
But you get paid for your work?
Yeah.
Who pays you for it?
Literally, I'll do a shoot like photos of people, and they'll be like, "Hey, can we do like an actual shoot?" And then I just schedule it and all that.
All right. Well, and I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Great vibes, man.
Oh, yeah, right on.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
Sure, dude. New York, nice. Where are you from?
I'm from Queens, but I live in in Florida now, Tampa.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm just visiting.
Nice. Yeah.
First time here.
Yeah. I was just in New York not too long ago, and I was taking pictures there. So
that's a great spot to take
the fun part
photos.
of it is just travel. So.
Cool. Well, enjoy, man.
Yeah.
God bless our First Amendment. God bless the ability to film and take pictures in public. This is some really good people watching, guys. We're doing some great fit checks today. We got some yeehaws. Look at this fit check. How you doing, guys? Awesome. I love the outfits. What's up, cowboys and cowgirls?
Come on, brother.
Go Biden.
What? Go Biden? Hell no. I haven't heard that in a Go Biden. What the hell? Guys, this video is being filmed, I think, April 10th. And we're hearing Go Biden April 10th, 2026. What the hell? Nobody wanted the man to run again. He should have stepped down. He should have stepped down 2 years into his presidency and said, I'm not going to run in 2024, and given the Democrat nominee a longer runway. I mean, that's probably 90% of the reason why they lost, because he would not step down. God bless Trump. That's right. You guys stand with our president, Donald Trump? God bless you guys.
Stand with America.
That's right. All right, if you're wearing cowboy hats, you have to support our president, Donald J. Trump. The cowboy hat is the Republican equivalent of the sun hat for white liberals. So I got to ask, I have a theory. Anybody that wears cowboy hats supports our president, Donald J. Trump. Is this true or false?
I'd say that's false.
So is it because you don't, or that you don't think cowboy hats in general don't support our president?
I don't have an opinion.
All right. I thought you were a Trump supporter, sir. You look like one. It's a compliment.
I was.
What happened?
I'd say right now I'm off the fence a little bit.
You're on the fence.
I gotta go to a wedding.
No problem. Enjoy.
All right.
Have a great time. You look great.
Huh? You're lying about me looking great.
You do look great. You got that vest on, that beautiful colored shirt. You look amazing, sir.
It should shake every single American in their shoes. I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016. We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history. James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting in July 28th in the Oval Office. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years. It undermined a sitting duly elected president. It sabotaged administration. It framed a three-star general. It destroyed and ripped this country apart. We had a constitutional crisis, the likes of which I don't think any American can fully comprehend. It is atrocious, and every single one of them must be held accountable.
Yeah, and of course.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe. Why not? 2,000 subscribers. Let's get it.
So if you guys like these videos where I stand in public wearing my MAGA hat and getting the reactions, let me know in the comments. Do you want to see me do these in other cities across the country? Drop a comment. Let me know. We're doing Knoxville today, and we're heading to Nashville next. And guys, I want to give a shout out to some of my favorite 1A auditors. I'm going to give you my top 3. Amagansett Press, Long Island Audit, to Apri. And even though Caitlin Bennett is not a 1A auditor, she does still do some 1A audit work. So I'm going to include Caitlin Bennett in my list of favorite auditors. And I also do have the Meta Ray-Bans operational right now, just as a backup camera. I'm not using them currently, but sometimes if there's things happening at different directions or I want to get 2 different angles, I might use the Meta Ray-Bans. Are you drinking a blue cup of liberal tears?
Like America?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. You too? You stay with Trump?
No.
Oh, split couple. Split couple.
Here's my trifling ass walker. No.
Once again, I want to give a shout out to our founding fathers for blessing us with the First Amendment, the ability to film in public what the eyes can see.
When we, the founding fathers, were putting together the Constitution, we wanted to protect the ability for citizens to film in public.
And keep in mind, guys, I'm being filmed from a ton of cameras all around here right now. And nobody asked me for consent. How you doing, brother? Real men wear pink.
Yeah.
I like the outfit. There you go.
Yeah.
What was that? 2 guys kissing?
No, it's my friend.
Wait, let me see. That's those 2 black dudes.
It's fine.
You're not black, though. Who is it, though?
I don't know.
Oh, just some random dudes?
You like it?
I mean, hey, it's
It's cool, right?
they can do whatever they want with their body.
Right?
You know, hey, whatever. That was so strange. He showed me a picture of 2 black dudes kissing. So, guys, this is why filming in public is just like so funny. You don't know what's going to happen. You just stand around with the camera and people just do crazy shit. Does downtown Knoxville stand with President Donald J. Trump? You think so?
Sorry?
Does downtown Knoxville stand with President Donald Trump? Do you think this area supports President Trump? Do you support?
Well, we're visitors.
From where?
We're from Ireland.
Oh, you're Irish.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect the accent to come out. That's cool.
Yeah, we're Irish.
Why are you here?
Visiting. We were visiting Dollywood.
Where were you visiting?
Dollywood.
Dollywood.
Yes.
What's that?
Dolly Parton.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Wow.
Created theme park, 40 years created by.
And was that here in Knoxville?
No, in Pigeon Forge.
Got it.
So we flew into Knoxville and yeah, we went to Pigeon Forge for 2 days.
And what other cities are you visiting next?
Well, no, we're not at the moment.
Oh, you're leaving.
But we've been to Nashville before. We've been to
Cool.
Boston, New York.
Awesome. Thanks for stopping. Enjoy, guys. Take care. I like your cowboy hat. You stand with President Trump? You stand with President Trump?
Bring in the Brexit. You remember when I see a total ripoff of this country by Japan, where they literally have no defense budget, where we have to borrow money from them in order to get them oil and defend the Persian Gulf, where most of the oil goes to Japan and other countries, not us. We get 4% of oil. When I see Kuwait, a total ripoff. We're bringing the Bridgeton. You remember the Bridgeton? Their oil minister sat back and he laughed at how much money he's going to make. Why aren't we getting some of that money? Why aren't we getting it? They're taking in billions and billions of dollars. And we can't even land a helicopter on Kuwaiti soil. You tell me that's right. Saudi Arabia, they wouldn't even be there except for us. And in Saudi Arabia, we couldn't even use their minesweepers, Phil. You know it. We said, could we use your minesweepers? Ours are old, outdated, not worth a damn. They said, no, you can't use our minesweepers to protect the Persian Gulf. I mean, it's a disgrace. What's going on? There are many other countries and taking tremendous advantage of this, including NATO. If you look at the payments that we're making to NATO, they're totally disproportionate with everybody else's, and it's ridiculous. As far as other causes that are near and dear, this is the cause, because if we can solve this, then we're able to take care of something that I consider to be ultimately of ultimate importance, and that is the homeless situation. That is the farmers. That is the sick. We don't have any money. This country is busted. And it's busted because we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. If we had business ability in this country, we'd be making lots of profit, so-called surplus profit. And that profit, that money, could be going to defend and I literally mean defend our homeless and our poor and our sick and our farmers. And that's where we ought to be spending the money, not giving it to countries that don't give a damn for us to start off with. We don't give anything to our farmers. Our farmers are dying. There's no question about it. Farms that were in for generations and families, they're being taken away. The homeless are all over the streets of the major cities. The sick and the problems. And yet we'll give billions of dollars in defending countries that have 5 times more money than we can ever hope to have. It's ridiculous. When I see it.
I like to stay out of politics.
But they stand with President Trump.
Absolutely.
Let me shake your hands.
Amen.
What would you say to the liberal?
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And also share my channel. Share the channel as well. Thank you.
That are protesting and calling, Trump no kings.
They need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. Because, they've really got their head in their asses if they think he's a bad president. He's doing everything we need him to do.
And he's doing everything we voted for.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Doing it great.
Thank you. My name's Adam Francisco. God bless you. You like my hat?
Yeah.
Oh, God bless you guys. Thoughts? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Yeah. I got 4 dogs, but I also got this really cool red hat. Do you stand President Trump?
Yeah,
of course you do. It's because you're a real woman. God bless you. You may. His name is Sky.
I saw you yesterday.
Nice to see you again.
You too.
You're like the second person that recognized you from yesterday.
Yeah.
Knoxville truly
I
is like
remember the hat.
It's a small town feel. What's your name?
Cassidy.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
I'm from New York, but I'm a Mexican immigrant. Let's go. Guys, so he was in the video yesterday, driving by. I don't know if I was filming, I might have been. And you were filming. I was filming. So you said you never saw a guy in a Knicks jersey and a MAGA hat.
That's correct.
But I came here legally. I believe in DEI. Deport every illegal. I know you agree, ma'am. You're driving the red car. You just got to put the word MAGA on it. Make America great again. Trump 2028. God bless Trump. God bless our president. Long live Donald J. Trump.
Fuck him.
Why? He's doing what we voted for him to do.
Long live Brunson.
Brunson's pretty good too, but also so is Donald Trump.
Hey, we're from Israel. We're with you.
You're from Israel? Can I say one thing to you? So I was born in Mexico. I was adopted by a Jewish mother and a Christian father. I was bar mitzvahed, and so they call me a jalapeno.
That's a good one.
God bless Israel. See, guys, when you come out in public in the MAGA hat, you have to unapologetically and boldly stand with President Trump. There's no backing down. There's no being passive. There's no being timid about it. You have to own. You have to own your stance. I like your shirt. I'm from New York City. Are you from New York City as well? All good. All good. God bless President Trump. So, guys, even if they don't say anything like that woman back there, they still give such expressive facial reactions. And that in itself makes for great content, because I can always freeze frame it and make the moment last as long as I want. So no matter what.
So much fraud here in the United States. It's unbelievable.
Dude. Hold on. Did you go right to
This is the Sean Ryan show. They posted 30 minutes ago. It's a long video.
California from Minnesota?
So after Minnesota, I was like, okay, the threats are pretty high right now after exposing like billions of dollars. Let me focus on something different, but let me still focus on fraud. So I focused on election fraud in California. Like that would maybe take a little bit of the pressure off me for a little bit as far as like the death threats and just like going having a group like the Somalians coming after me. So like, okay, let's go after election fraud. And then a few weeks later, I then did go after the hospice fraud. And that was bad.
Why'd you pick California election fraud? I'm just curious.
Because they're the biggest state in the country, and they're one of the states that don't require voter ID. So I really just want to show people how easy it is to vote in an election here inside the United States in a place that does not require voter ID.
Have you heard of, we're going to get into that. I'm just curious. I've been hearing a lot of the voter frauds coming out of Venezuela, like from a national standpoint. Have you heard this shit?
I really haven't.
You have
I heard maybe the Dominion machines are out of there.
Yes.
I haven't looked into it.
Smartmatic, is that who owns them? I don't know. This is all allegedly, but I've been hearing a lot of sources talking about that it all kind of is orchestrated from Venezuela. But
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
I would like to go.
It's very. I don't know if I should say conspiracy-ish, but I can't think of another word right now. It's kind of conspiracy-ish, so I haven't really touched on it yet because I can't. There's a lot of wild shit out there, but I'm hearing it more and more and more.
If you can hook me up with a group of special op guys to go down to Venezuela, I'll go look into it.
I know a couple special op guys that will go to Venezuela with you. So, yeah, actually, I will fucking hook you up. I'll call them up tonight and see if they will be interested in going down with you.
I'm down. Hablo español. I'm ready.
Do you really?
Yeah, I speak fluent Spanish.
No shit. Where'd you learn that?
In Chile, Santiago.
Mission trip.
Yep.
Nice. Nice.
I'm a dual threat.
Nice. Let me give you an intro here. Nick Shirley, a bold 23-year-old independent journalist who's taken the internet by storm with fearless, on-the-ground investigations. Known for exposing stories and the legacy media won't touch, from immigration debates to government waste. Uncovered alleged massive fraud in Minnesota's taxpayer-funded programs, testified before Congress about the fraud taking place in Minnesota and all across the United States, currently uncovering millions in dollars of fraud in California for fake hospice care facilities and daycares. Fuck, man. And as you know, before we get going, got a couple things to knock out. One,
yes. These are so good.
Vigilance Elite gummy bears.
I get like the whole pack last time within a few days.
Nice. And we got a Patreon account, turned it into quite the community, and so they get the opportunity to ask every single guest a question. This is from Robert Simmons. Have you had any luck with any federal investigators taking what you found and expanding investigations? And do you think at some point there will be any real indictments or convictions of state officials who have allowed it or are covering it up?
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of success to actually just open up a new task force, fraud task force, where a bunch of departments of the government are now going to be talking together. If they see an issue at Treasury and they see an issue at another department where they weren't communicating, now they're going to communicate. And I think we will start to see prosecutions ramp up.
Vance he's the lead on that, isn't he?
Yes.
Is this the same thing?
Yes.
So what is it? What's the difference between this and Doge?
This essentially isn't like a new, I don't think it's a new department, it's a task force. And now like all these departments inside the government, like you have Treasury, you have the people who are over the housing, you have all these departments are now going to be talking together. You have the HHS that's going to be talking with Treasury. If there's a huge amount of money going somewhere and they think it's suspicious, they're going to talk. Because before, they weren't talking.
Right on.
And that's why the fraud got so big.
You think you are the main component of the reason that happened?
Yeah, I think so. JD even told me that.
Did he really?
Yeah, I met with him and he's like, you're one of the main reasons why this is happening.
Wow. How's that feel?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just cool to know that like your efforts can be seen by government officials and like change can be brought out.
That's right.
Which is cool for me to see, at least.
Pretty fucking cool what you're doing, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun and
what up, Mark?
How about so have the death threats died down?
A little bit. I mean, after Minnesota, that was really crazy, and especially after the shootings as well that took place in Minnesota, that did not help.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild, just because everyone wanted to blame on somebody. And so when they were blaming it on me, I'm like, I had nothing to do with that.
Well, are you talking about the ICE shootings?
Yeah. Like,
they were blaming that on you?
A lot of the leftists were trying to blame it on me. I'm like, no, I'm not the one who decided to get in my car and hit an ICE agent or put myself in a position to get shot by an ICE agent.
Holy shit. Yeah. I didn't know they were blaming it on you. I don't think that was a good shoot.
Well, not everyone, but a select group of people are like, you have blood on your hands. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
That was not me.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Because, I mean, after I exposed all that fraud, the politicians tried to divert the attention from the fraud. And with the ICE coming in, they then, they even shut down schools so people could go out and protest. So they then incentivized these people to go out and protest, and were rallying them up. Ilhan Omar was in the back of a truck bed yelling at the protesters, riling them up.
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. Did anything happen in Minnesota?
Yeah, so, I mean, for instance, the Feeding Our Future one, that was one of the main daycares I went to. They had received over $3 million. One of the ladies was fleeing the United States to go to the UK on a one-way trip. She got caught at the airport, and now she's been found guilty. And there's people who have been arrested for autism, who have pleaded guilty to the autism fraud that took place. And right now, I think they're just building up the cases. I mean, it really was only about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Since all this happened.
It's actually pretty impressive that that's already starting to happen. I honestly thought everybody would just go unscathed. We uncovered it. Cool. Let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, all the fraudsters are on high alert right now, too.
Good. You're doing good work. So let's move into California.
California fraud is so massive, and there's so many different things to look at. When you look at the fraud that's taking place in California, you have Medi-Cal fraud, which is their Medicaid. And, for instance, in 2022, they had $108 billion go towards Medi-Cal. The population...
What is Medi-Cal?
It's their Medicaid.
Okay.
So each state kind of calls their Medicaid systems or programs a bit different. California is called Medi-Cal. It's the biggest Medicaid in the United States because they have the most amount of people. But so in 2022, they had $108 billion go towards Medi-Cal. Their enrollments at the time was 3.9 million. Okay, and so then now we're in 2026. The proposed budget for Medi-Cal is now 222 million, and their enrollments 40 million. So they only
what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you say those numbers again?
So
108 million billion for 39.8 million people.
39.9.
Shit. So they've over doubled it
for
100,000 people. Well, what's new? What do they get?
That's what we're all wondering. And actually, the population of California hasn't gone up exponentially either.
Yeah, I checked it. It's plateaued. I thought it was actually a decline, but it's not a decline. It is a plateau since 2020.
Yes.
I pulled it up.
And so when I was making that video, I looked at this and I said, what is going on here? How is it going from 39.9 enrollments to now 40 million enrollments, yet there's over $100 billion? And then if you look at the surplus, California at one point was operating in a $100 billion surplus before 2020. Now they're operating in I believe around a $20 to $40 billion deficit. So that's an easy place to point to why they're in such deficit and where all the fraud is.
So what is going on? Can you say the dates again? So it was 108 billion in when?
2022.
2022. And today, in 2026, it's doubled.
Yes.
Over doubled.
The proposed budget's at 222 billion.
Holy shit, dude.
And the thing with the fraud is they want to make it so big and so complex that it's hard to actually crack down on. And so when you have that much money going out to these locations, going out to these hospices, going out to these home health cares, it makes it very hard to crack down on. Because how do you, the web's so deep at that point. There's so many hands that are involved.
How are they doing the fraud?
So hospice, and home health care. Like the most valuable thing to somebody over the age of 65 is their Medicare beneficiary number. And that's even more valuable to a fraudster than a credit card. So they get the medical beneficiary numbers of these people, and then they start enrolling them into hospice. And once someone's enrolled to hospice, a lot of people in California don't even know they're enrolled into hospice until they go to the doctor and they need a surgery or they need an appointment, and they say, well, we can't help you. You're enrolled into hospice.
So then what happens? So these people, so basically their identity's stolen.
Yes.
Somebody puts them in the hospice program. They need a surgery. They can't get a surgery because
they'll be denied.
How many people have died because of this?
I don't have the exact numbers on that, but I imagine a lot of people get to the doctors and they're like, wait, I had no idea it was on hospice. CBS even reported on it.
I mean, what if it's a medical emergency?
They're on hospice.
You're having a fucking heart attack.
You're on hospice.
Or an aneurysm. Holy shit.
So it's very dangerous, actually. I mean, my grandma, when she was dying, they put her on hospice. And basically that means they're just going to give you morphine if you're not feeling good, or they're going to like treat you, but they're not going to stop you from dying. Like they're not going to do some last minute procedure to make sure you stay alive.
So is hospice, what is it? Government aid? What does it cover?
So it's underneath Medi-Cal, but it's literally just like hospice is just like home health care to ease your dying.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so there's hospice and then there's home health care.
Great Monday, everybody. Great Monday. Thank you guys for being in the chat. Really appreciate it.
It sounds like a really
like and subscribe and also share the channel. Share.
Hey, is so-and-so here? No. Okay.
Well, the problem is they then get these like little offices and they just do the billing. They don't have the patient inside of a hospice because they're going out to the homes. Because most of the people are on their deathbeds at their home.
Okay.
And so it's very hard.
Okay.
So if you do have that medical beneficiary number, it's super easy to make it look like you're doing stuff. Because it's just a piece of paper that you're signing off and sending to the state, and then they send you the money from Medi-Cal.
Okay.
Or from Medicare.
I thought hospice was actual centers.
No. That's why they're able to get away with it.
Shit.
And that's how they get the medical beneficiary numbers. Then they can just bill people without them even knowing.
How'd you figure this? How did you figure all this out?
Well, after my Minnesota video, it like surged the country to go look for fraud. And I was kind of nervous to tackle California because I was worried, like, okay, if I post a video, Gavin Newsom's probably going to try to sue me. Because Dr. Oz went and did it. He's the head of CMS. So he went and showed that here in California, there's 1,000% increase in these hospices. Armenian and Russian mafias are running these hospices. And so I knew there was something there because literally the head of CMS is going there and talking about that. And so then I started looking into all the data. After my video, the HHS actually released the databases of the HHS to then you could go then scan through it. So I started going through that data. I located these hospices. I said, okay, I'm going to go see what's happening at these. And it turns out that they are just there's just a bunch of plazas in this place called Van Nuys in California, in LA, that just have literally 10 to 89 hospices in one building.
Dude, this is just like the Minnesota shit.
Yeah, it might even be worse. Because 1/3 of the hospices in America are in LA County.
1/3 of the hospices in America are in LA County?
I believe so, yeah. Like one in every $10 for home health care goes to LA County. It gets really bad.
Whoa, dude. Holy shit. 89 in one building?
89 in one building.
What does that look like?
They're literally these plazas or just these buildings that you maybe drive by and don't think anything of because you've never seen anything ever happen to them. Well, there's a little hospice in a room that's like 8 by 8. And you knock on the door and nobody's there. You can even open the door. There's nothing in it.
That's
crazy. And then if someone is in it, it's
Thank you. Let's grow. Let's get to 2,000 subs and beyond. Let's do it. Thank you.
Especially in California. then you drive out and you walk outside the parking lot and you got like MA competitions, you got G-Wagons, you got Cybertrucks, you even have $200,000 Maybachs. Like these fraudsters.
Again, thank you. Let's grow. Thank you.
Everything in life has leveled up. Your phone's basically a supercomputer. Your commerce platform behind sign up for your one
that they've been able to get away with for so long.
Damn. But you've been talking about this pretty openly. I mean, it popped up on my radar.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm doing a public service to the country to try and expose fraud wherever it may be. And I don't care if you're Russian, Armenian, Somalian, American. Like, if you're committing fraud, you're stealing
Fraud is bad.
from hard-working, legal taxpayers. So, either stop committing fraud or you're going to get exposed.
So, what is that? How long ago did you expose this?
The Minnesota or Armenia?
No, the California stuff.
I filmed that back in February.
February?
Yeah.
What has the response been from everybody else other than the mobs?
Gavin Newsom, he posted a photo of me snooping around, an AI-generated image of me snooping around daycares, trying to depict me as like a pervert, putting like 10 cameras on me.
I saw that.
Where are the children? The overall response, though, has been a lot more positive compared to Minnesota because people are realizing, oh, this is like a systemic problem here in the United States. This isn't a right or left issue. Like, each one of these tax dollars is our tax dollars. So the response has been, I'd say, even better because people are now seeing, like, oh, okay, this is like a big issue.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last time you were here, there was an estimated $600 billion in fraud in the U.S. alone.
Yeah, 3 to 7% of each tax dollar goes towards fraud here in the United States.
How much?
3 to 7%. So that means that each American is working 25 days out of the year to pay a fraudster.
Wow. Has there been any response from the California government on this? Other than you running around with a bunch of cameras?
They're trying to act like Gavin Newsom did this and that to stop hospices, I think like back in 2021. But the problem is you can go and sign something, but if you don't actually stop the bleeding, that means nothing. Because there's an over 1,000% increase. There's 1,500 hospices in LA County alone. And yeah, good job. You maybe cracked down on 50, 70 of them. But you have a lot more to crack down on, and you didn't stop the bleeding. It's similar to Minnesota, where they had a 10,000% increase in funding for autism, yet there wasn't a 10,000% of children with autism. So, like, these governors like to act like they're doing stuff, but they actually never stop the bleeding. And that's where all the fraud is taking place. Like, stop the bleeding, and then maybe you can say, I did something. But until then, like, you're just as complicit as these fraudsters because you know what's happening. But you don't stop the bleeding.
Man, Nick should be on there. I'm glad he's doing his thing, man. On the real.
We're doing this. 89 in one building. I mean, 89.
Yeah, so CBS reported on the 89 one. I just went to about an area, probably about 2 square miles. And within there, there's the one motel-like building that had like 15 of them in there. There's another one that had about 8 inside of it. There's another one that had, it started off as an adult daycare that then transformed themselves into a hospice and a home health care. So they just got in on all the goods. And altogether, probably around
10 different buildings.
10 different buildings.
What are these people saying to you when you bang on the door, when you approach them? Do they speak English?
Some of them do. A lot of them aren't there. And I said, one guy was there. He said, he's like, I've been in this business since 1990 something. I'm like, okay, then what's the justification for a 1,000% increase since you've been in it for so long? And he can't even answer the question. In fact, he blames Dr. Oz.
He blames Dr. Oz.
Yes, he blamed Dr. Oz, saying that he was making all these allegations, and he even blamed Dr. Oz for being fat. That was pretty funny. In the video, the guy's like, I bought Dr. Oz pills, and I'm still fat. I'm like, oh, so you're fat because of Dr. Oz? He's like, yes, because of Dr. Oz.
Wow.
And I'm pulling the information straight from these data sets, and so they can't back it up. I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, my business is right here. I'm like, okay, great. Then your business is right here. You're not even registered with CMS. Like, how come you aren't registered with CMS? And then he blames Dr. Oz. And I'm like, well, Dr. Oz has actually been in that position for maybe a year. Yet they've been giving away with this for years.
What do you think's going to happen with this?
Well, I'm super interested to see what happens with this fraud task force. And I do think if there's not prosecutions or people aren't arrested, then, like, I think Americans are just going to lose hope, like, lose any faith that they have left in the government. Because it is literally out there in the open, this fraud.
I mean, you just said every 25 Americans spend 25 days a year paying for fraud.
Mm-hmm.
25 a month of your hard work that you are sending to the government is paying for fraud.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so in some of these programs too, they're like, oh, well, it's not that much money. Yeah. Well, your department allows $7 billion and 1.7% of that goes towards fraud. That's $100 million. That's how much daycare fraud there is in California. That's a very low estimate, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, that's a lot of money, $100 million.
Where are we going next? We going daycare fraud, voter fraud? What are we doing?
Voter fraud's very big, and I think that's something that's just like so obvious too. It's like, okay, how come in these Democrat
Thank you.
they don't
Let's
want
get it.
to
Let's get
show
it.
their
2,000
ID?
subs. Let's
Like
get
in
it.
California, they do not want you to show your ID. And
they don't want you to show your ID?
They don't want you to show your ID. You don't need to. All you have to do is sign a paper. Like
That's
a lot of people told me,
crazy.
well,
Sign a
try to show
paper,
my
huh?
ID at the place, and they look at it like it's like some sort of cancer. Like they're like, don't look at it. Like we don't need to see it.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I wanted to see how easy it would be for, let's just say, an illegal migrant to vote in California. So this man, he had all the voter he had all the what are they called? What are they called? Sorry. He had all the voter rolls. So in California, I want to see how bad the fraud was. So I reached out to this man who's been doing his own investigation on this for years. So he had all the voter rolls. And to receive the voter rolls, it's public. You can get the voter rolls, but you have to get access from, I believe, from the Secretary of State of California. So he had received all the voter roll, and he's been going through it for years. And there's so many red flags inside these voter rolls. For instance, you have people who are said to be 126 years old voting. Then you go to the house, and the person's 80 years old, but they voted in 55 elections. And they don't require ID. You also have people who are registered to UPS boxes. And you can be registered to UPS box, but you cannot have that as your domicile address, which is on the voter rolls. So a lot of people have their addresses to these UPS stores and to these PO boxes, and you can't actually do that. And so there's all these problems that could be solved if you were just to show your voter ID when you go and vote. Now, when you do go and vote in California, their way of flagging it is if the signature is not aligned. So there's 39 million people or so in California. Let's say 10 million people go and vote. They are literally saying that we are going to scan each and every single signature, and if the signature is not right, that vote will then be investigated.
Right.
And it's the slant of the signature.
Right.
So who's to say that somebody is not going to go and vote on behalf of Mandy, who's 126 years old, who doesn't even know she's 126 years old, and go up and say she's Mandy and go and vote? So there's so much voter fraud. It's insane.
This is enraging.
Yeah, it's very enraging.
I mean, it all is. It all is. So all you have to do is write a signature?
Yes.
No, nothing else.
You just have to say you're that person and then sign the signature. In fact, it was so easy to register to vote in California. A lady who was actually a Republican registered her dog to vote. And the dog voted in 2 elections. The first election, it voted successfully. The second election, the dog got caught because the person reported herself.
You mean the signatures lined up?
Yes.
The dog's signatures lined up, huh?
The dog registered to vote. Like, the dog had its own name, everything, it registered to vote. Like, that's how easy it is to register to vote in California. And it's funny, because then I then go post that video, and I'm like, okay, this is like super simple. A dog registered to vote. You would then have Democrats out defending the dog. They're like, you idiot, that was a Republican. I'm like, you realize this isn't a Republican or Democrat issue. A dog was able to vote. And the only reason it got caught was because the owner reported herself. And they're like, well, it didn't count. I'm like, no, it counted. It voted in that first election, and that vote counted. Like, it's very enraging because I'm going about showing people these issues that have become controversial that aren't controversial, and then you have people defending it.
What are they saying? What are they saying?
They're like, they literally said, you idiot, that was a Republican who did that, and it got caught. I'm like, no, that dog still voted. Like, you don't have a problem with the fact that a person without, not a person, a dog without a human body was registered to vote in a U.S. election. Like, we are a first world country. We're the best country in the world, most advanced country, yet a dog is able to vote in our elections.
Do you have any idea how much voter fraud is going on there? How many fraudulent votes? How long this has been going on?
A lot. I mean, if you look at the election, the only state that Trump didn't win were states that didn't need voter ID. And those states are more Democrat. And I don't doubt that he didn't win those states. But it's crazy that the only states that didn't require a voter ID are the states that Trump lost.
What other states don't require voter ID?
Minnesota. In fact, in Minnesota, you can vouch on behalf of other people to vote.
Excuse me?
Yes. So on the day of voting in Minnesota, say you work at a building or people inside your apartment, I believe.
Yeah, initially the video's kind of long. I can continue it tomorrow, but I'm going to switch it up and play this. It's been an hour ago once it's posted. It's current. It's related to what's going on.
Do you pray for the president?
Oh, absolutely. He needs a lot of prayer. And
what do you pray for? What do you ask God?
Well, I pray.
This is a chat with me, Linda B, another conservative woman.
People I care about. I affirm his humanity as I
Like and subscribe
of anybody and everybody. But part of that prayer is about accountability. I have to be honest about what he's doing.
The Democrat Party's dirty little secret about black voters that they no longer can hide anymore. Oh, we got to talk about this today, Warriors, on Chat With Me, Linda B. That they can no longer hide about how they really feel about Black American voters. There's this little clip that's going around. I'm going to share it with you right now. I'm going to talk about it in depth. Plus, another tactic that the Democrat Party has been using as well. You guys have got to stick around to the very end. Eye-opening.
Do you think that's hard for Black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, they might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of Black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask Black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID, Norley? Carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any Black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has ID. Why would they say they don't have ID? That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't. This literally sums up white liberals. Their assumptions and low expectations on black people, it's patronizing. They think that we are incapable of using the internet. Literally every American citizen from like the age of 13 has ID. So to sum it up, white liberals think that we are dumb, poor, or criminals incapable of getting voter ID. Lord have mercy.
All right, so you heard those people there and their low expectations, because honestly, racist white liberals look at some of them, I'm not going to say all of them, they look at black people like we're subhuman almost. Of course we're not. I mean, we're just as good as anybody else. And they always hollering white supremacy. The black folks and the white folks that are on the left always holler that. I got something I'm going to say that's really going to rock some liberals' world. I'm going to just tell you here. Well, I took it from another podcaster, Mr. Ellison. Okay, he said the reason that y'all bring up the left, the reason why the lefties always bring up white supremacy is because, and I'm talking about the black folks that are lefty. Okay, let me be clear about that. The reason y'all keep bringing it up is because you're jealous of the white man and you really want to be him. That's why you keep bringing up white supremacy. You think that about your own self. That's why you always bring it up. On the conservative side, we don't bring it up. We know we're just as good as anybody else. Nobody is better than no human being is better than another human being. Only God is supreme. Can we just get that through our thick heads? All right. So the dirty little secret that these demon rats, these racist liberals don't want to tell black folks or anybody else is that they honestly think they are superior. That is why they bring up white supremacy. The white leftists and the black lefties, the white lefties, no matter what ethnicity you are, you do believe in white supremacy. It's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. But those of us on the conservative side, we know there's no such thing as white supremacy. It does not exist. I'd like to see who of any ethnicity is superior to me. Don't you underestimate a godly woman. That's just a fact. No such thing. And that's their trick. They get us to go along with evil that hurts us. We vote for our own demise. We sign up for our own demise. We do the talking points of the racist liberal in the background. Black people on the left do it all the time. And another thing that they've used, and it's been quite successful, unfortunately, is they use the church.
Yeah, use the church.
Churches with
Thank you.
Black population.
Thank you,
But they've
guys.
gone into other churches.
Almost at 2,000 subs. Thank you.
Far
Almost there.
crazy, radical, bring in every demonic doctrine type of church with any and all group of people attending. It is totally diabolical. I got this senator from the state of Georgia, Senator Raphael Warnock. Yes, he's a demon rat. He is senator of the state I live in, Georgia. Now, I'm going to let you hear this clip. I'm going to give you a few clips. And see, the Democrats knew that black people, we are like church people. You know, we go to church, we love God, you know, like a lot of other folks too. But they knew that we were particularly religious. So what they did was, we'll get someone with eloquent speech who can just I don't know, just
Amazing.
make them just be
Again, thank you guys.
hypnotized
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You notice they get preachers or people with eloquent speech.
Let's get to 2,000 subscribers. Why not, you guys? Thank you so much. Thank you.
MLK, eloquent speech and preacher. And you've got Warnock. You've even got phony preachers with the name Reverend, but they're not really reverends, like the late Jesse Jackson. I'm not trying to be mean. I know he's not here to defend himself. And also Al Sharpton. This is a common thread. But I want you to listen to this right here with Senator Raphael Warnock talking to CNN's Jake Tapper.
Look
Okay, before I play the video, I just want to say, I want to read this post right here. It says, Warnock doesn't believe in the God of the Bible. He has the same God that James Tallarico has. Both are godless devils masquerading as men of God, twisting scripture to push a radical left agenda while attacking the very policies that protect American borders and citizens. Real prophets don't play partisan games on CNN. Real faith doesn't call enforcing immigration law cruelty or label border security bigotry. This is false prophecy from start to finish. Wolves in shepherd's clothing. Warnock can keep his fake prayers and selective outrage. True believers see right through it. They call everything racist. No matter what it is, they call it racist.
Do you pray for the president?
Oh, absolutely. He needs a lot of prayer. And
what do you pray for? What do you ask God?
Well, I pray in as much as he has influence and power over people I care about. I affirm his humanity as I affirm the humanity of anybody and everybody. But part of that prayer is about accountability. I have to be honest about what he's doing. His kind of unabashed, unvarnished bigotry, the cruelty that he is unleashing on American streets through his version of ICE, those things have to be condemned. And so for me, prayer and prophetic speech, which holds power accountable, those two things go hand in hand. I am not about to be the chaplain blessing that which is ungodly and unjust.
There are a lot of religious leaders who go to the White House and not only pray for the president, but make a show of suggesting that he was chosen by God for this mission.
Yeah, they're wrong. And there were Christians who thought that slavery was somehow godlike, American chattel slavery, and they justified it. And they used scriptures to support their position. It just so happens that I'm the product of a countervailing tradition that was literally born fighting for freedom, that understood that God didn't create us to be slaves. That's why the Black church was emerged. When we say the Black church, we've never meant anything racially exclusive about that. We are literally talking about the anti-slavery church, a church that was born correcting the American heresy that somehow tried to reconcile the faith of Jesus to slavery.
A couple of things. He mentioned slavery. That's the Democrat Party right there. Slave owners formed the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party formed the Triple K. So it's interesting that he would talk about bigotry because that seems to be prevalent on the left, the political left. They always bring it up. They always bring it up. They don't want to focus on the advancements of America. They focus on where America was not at her best. And we acknowledge that. But can we move on? See, they're the party of slavery because they use it as a talking point and they use it as a means to call someone else a bigot. He brought up bigotry. They're always going to bring it up because they are the party itself of racism, any and all kind of bigotry. They're the party of DEI. We already know they're the party of slavery, the Triple K, but they're the party of DEI. And they're the ones that in their pulpits, like Jamal Bryant, always bringing up race, always bringing up color with the Black Lives Matter or Black Power fist on the pulpit with the cross in the hand. This Black liberation theology, not twisting the scriptures. He want to talk about somebody twisting scriptures. I want you to listen to this.
Reverend, please respond to the abortion
Right,
issue.
didn't earn it. Nope,
Well,
they didn't earn it.
I have a profound reverence for life and an abiding respect for choice. The question is, whose decision is it? And I happen to think that a patient's room is too small a place for a woman, her doctor, and the U.S. government. I think there's too many people in the room. But those who are concerned about life, and I certainly am, ought to be focused on the incredibly high rates of infant mortality and maternal mortality in our country when compared to other developed nations. That's something the government could work on. and I've been working on it my entire career.
Infant mortality, but you are for abortion. Make that make sense. In any event, in either of those situations, you have a child that is not living. Okay, so how can you be for abortion and then bring up, oh, it's the problem with infant mortality? You added to the infant mortality. I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly.
People get on my nerves. See, the Democrats love to use preachers, eloquent speech that spew out agenda. They are not preaching the Bible. And Democrats think that Black people are less than humane. They think that we are not intelligent. And unfortunately, a lot of us have been brainwashed to sign up for our own demise. But God-fearing people who truly have the Spirit of God and discernment can see right through their BS. Their triple BS. All right, they always send their preachers to spew out hatred against white people, hatred against America. I want to let you see this small little clip right here from Obama's former pastor, Jeremiah Wright.
Bless America, God damn America. In that sense, Jeremiah Wright, whose sermon, by the way, you should read in its entirety. It's a very fine homily entitled On Confusing God and Government. No, not God bless America, God damn America. We celebrate Reverend Wright in the same way that we celebrate the truth-telling tradition of the Black Church. No, not God bless America, God damn America. And Jeremiah Wright is doing what he should do. He is a preacher and a prophet. No, not God bless America, God.
Oh yeah, Linda, yeah, subscribe to her channel. She be on it.
Tell the truth, very often it makes people uncomfortable.
She tell like it is.
God damn America.
Yes, that's what they got out here. That was, again, Jeremiah Wright, Pastor Jeremiah Wright, Obama's former pastor. I think Obama went to that church for like 20 years. And this man did preach anti-Semitism from the pulpit, America hatred from the pulpit. Okay, do we know this about Barack Hussein Obama and how he really feels about this country and what the Democrats actually feel about the Black people in this country? Democrats, the politicians, the racist white liberals in the background hate Black people. They hate America. They hate the God of the Bible. They really hate Christian, straight white men. They really hate y'all. If you happen to be a Christian, straight white man, that's why they went off on Charlie Kirk so bad, because he represented everything that they hate. Everything that they hate. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and let's start with a man who's not only hopelessly inept, but is also dangerous, a true hard-left ideologue. Here is Minnesota governor and failed VP candidate Tampon Tim Walz in Spain, calling his political opponents fascists.
We've got a feeble-minded, trigger-happy president who plunged us into a war where no threat was present, with no clear objectives and no exit plan. We need to call that what it is. That's fascism. Or at least as fascist curious as they would be.
First question, why is he in Spain?
This will be the last video of the day. It's been 3 hours and 22 minutes since I've been live streaming. I really appreciate you guys. I got brand new, 16 new subs. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, but other than that, let's continue.
And why does a man his age not understand a term like fascism, and yet he insists on it?
Thank you. Let's get to 2000. Why not?
Let's stay with the Democrats and hear from a blue-haired Congresswoman, Rosa DeLauro, who is having a meltdown about milk.
If I were the head of HHS, I would, by God, say, don't take raw milk. It is dangerous to your health. And if you can't say that, well, maybe there's some other conclusions that can be drawn.
Oh dear, and to New York now, and this is the Democrats' future Marxism. Here is Zoran Mamdani and former President Barack Hussein Obama doing story time. It's never too early to indoctrinate young minds, comrades. No, I think I prefer drag queens doing story time compared to that. And that brings me to trans activist Lily Tino. Here he dresses up as children's entertainer Miss Rachel to speak to the young'uns, and he claims here that your gender is determined by the hat.
Thank you.
And you say cisgender? Good job.
Whoa, that's not racial.
What does cisgender mean? When somebody is born, the doctor gives them a hat. Which hat you get is a really big deal because it tells the world a lot about you. Hopefully the hat that the doctor gives you fits.
Yeah, the doctor just gives you a hat. Biological reality, nothing to do with it. I'm loving this analogy. I wonder how far you can stretch these cis-trans terms. To the moon and back?
The hat that the doctor gives you fits.
Yeah, the doctor
What the heck? Hello.
Biological reality. The doctor gives you. What?
And you say cisgender? Good job. But what does cisgender mean? When somebody...
Hey, man, that's very dangerous, man. He's copying her. What the heck? Hey, man, nah.
Is born, the doctor
gives them that's not cool.
Hat. Which hat you get is a really big deal because it tells the world a lot about you. Hopefully the hat that the doctor gives you fits.
Yeah, the doctor just gives you a hat. Biological reality.
This man dressing like Miss Rachel.
I'm loving this
what
analogy.
The heck?
I wonder how far he can stretch these cis-trans terms. To the moon and back?
Some people think that trans and cis are bad words, but they're not. They're just opposites, like up or down or left or right.
No,
Everyone
stupid.
uses cis and trans, even astronauts. For example, let's say an astronaut blasts off from Earth towards the moon. Cis means the same side. So when the astronaut is on the same side of the moon as Earth is, they are in cis lunar space. Trans means opposite side. So once you blast off past the moon onto the other side, you are in trans lunar space.
Netflix is going to give that dude a show any minute now. Just you wait. Now, while the hysterical lefties and the panicans on the right work themselves into a frenzy with their harebrained analysis of the Iran war, here's a 30-second summary of Donald Trump's recent foreign policy outcomes from a social media content provider who manages to deliver sharper analysis than the pundits on many of the major networks.
Trump is such a jerk. He threatened to attack Panama. Trump just kicked China out of Panama, so they have no influence now. Trump just illegally took Maduro out of Venezuela. We control all of Venezuela's oil now, and we've completely kicked China out of the Western Hemisphere. Trump is just like Hitler. He's threatening to invade Greenland. Greenland just made a deal with us, and we're working great together now. Trump is so stupid. He just attacked Iran, and we can't win that war. And if they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, the world's going to run out of energy. And everyone's sending their oil tankers to America to buy American energy now. We've officially become the #1 energy provider of the world. How does he keep doing that?
The focus is always America first. And
Keep on winning, baby.
About the outcomes. While the media are frantic about the process and the mean tweets, you know, the very tactics that get the results. Let's hear from the most bullied person in the world, according to herself, of course. Pampered princess turned failed reality TV star Meghan Markle was in Australia for a commercial tour. Here she claims she's been the most trolled person for the past decade. The delusion is strong with this one.
Every day for 10 years, I've been bullied and attacked. And I was the most trolled person in the entire world, man or woman. I'm still here. And so when I think of all of you and what you're experiencing, I think so much of that is having to realize that, you know, that industry, that $1 billion industry that is completely anchored and predicated on cruelty.
Joining me now is host of the Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered podcast, Kinsey Schofield. What's your reaction to that claim by Meghan that she's the most trolled person, man or woman, in the world for a decade?
I mean, analytically, that is simply not true. In 2024, research proves that Catherine, Princess of Wales, was the most harassed person online, the most trolled, during a sensitive, secret cancer battle. You know, my sympathy lies there. In 2019,
Another Shark, welcome to the chat.
If Meghan wants to be taken seriously as an expert
Scott.
in this arena, she needs to remove herself from the equation and bring her audience statistics and meaningful solutions to the problem, not another sob story.
You know what? I don't even believe those stats. You look at the criticism Princess Kate or Adele gets, and you compare that to pretty much anybody in the Trump administration. Give me a break. Since 2016, there would be not a human in the world who would have got the bad press that Donald Trump gets. Now, you can say he's a politician, he's signed up for that, but then every public figure, in a way, signs up for that, and that's something Megyn Kelly.
But he also
said
didn't
when
have cancer. He didn't have cancer. Catherine had cancer. I mean, that was horrible. Yeah.
She did, but I'm just wondering, about the data points in this research. But let's have a listen to what Megyn Kelly said about Meghan Markle's comments about trolling.
Every public figure has been subjected to negative scrutiny, often very intense and unpleasant. You had the benefit of universally loving and adoring, praise, fawning press for a year. When you started dating him, a biracial American princess, oh my God, the US press went nuts. The Brits, who are woker than we are, were self-flagellating themselves in every paper for not having had anybody of color in the family. And they were bending over backwards to welcome you into the royal family.
Kinsey, she then blew it all that goodwill gone. And Megyn Kelly says she blew it all by being, and I quote, a bitch and a bully.
Damn.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And Vanity Fair reported former employees of Megyn sought therapy after they worked for her. She was such a bully. The Hollywood Reporter called her a dictator in high heels. MK might just be onto something here. I don't disagree with her.
Kamala Harris, a superfan, and rapper Cardi B has had an almighty meltdown and live streamed the whole thing, screaming about why she won't be performing at her last sold-out show in Atlanta.
Right here, because you and your employees are being disrespectful, why I'm not going to perform today. Because don't get your balls, like you said. Go get them. I'm not performing today. Let me tell you why. Because we got in here, your employees are being rude for no reason. Being rude for no reason. Pointing fingers for no reason. Touching people for no reason. And then they're telling me, oh, we got to do this. Because I feel a certain type of way. Because you're being disrespectful.
I understood about 30% of that. Kinsey, what was that all about?
Well, first of all, I think we should clarify that Cardi B and Meltdown is a typical Tuesday for the two of us. This is not this is something we cover pretty regularly here between the two of us. But Cardi almost called off her show in Atlanta over the weekend over the alleged disrespect of her team by the staff at the concert venue. However, after that glorious hissy fit went viral, the show did go ahead as scheduled. So all is right with the world. Everybody got their Cardi B fix. Hopefully she's found some magnesium and she's had a nice nap. And, she'll chill out for a little while.
I'm not sure magnesium is going to solve her issues. She seems to have a few issues there. Now, another clip of Katy Perry has resurfaced where she appears to kiss a 14-year-old boy who she had pulled onto stage at one of her concerts.
Are you back in school? Staying in school? That's good. You're going to be real popular one day. This is going to be awkward for your father, but have you ever been kissed?
That went on for a while.
What the heck?
That she encouraged him to participate a little bit more in the kissing. Kinsey, this all has come to light because we've got Victoria Police here investigating Katy Perry after Australian actress Ruby Rose claimed that Perry assaulted her back in 2010. How do you see this affecting Katy Perry's reputation and image around the world?
It already is. I mean, talk about a PR nightmare. Insiders say this risks, Katy risks being permanently linked to these allegations because of this avalanche that we're seeing of additional videos of her inappropriate behavior. At the very moment, she's been moving in the highest profile circles, from sunning herself aboard Barry Diller's $100 million yacht to performing at King Charles's coronation. She now finds herself pulled into an increasingly uncomfortable spotlight On top of this, she's got Justin Trudeau. Sources have said they've made no secret of their interest in each other, but this marks a real test in their relationship, because I don't know if you remember Trudeau trying to be the poster child for pro-women, feminist public image. So any association with allegations of this nature could put a noticeable dent in the optics of their relationship. That's really awkward for him.
Now, Kristen Cabot, you might be wondering, who the hell is that? Well, she's the woman at the centre of last year's Coldplay cheating controversy. We all remember that image. Well, she has said that the band's lead singer, Chris Martin, never reached out to her after she went viral for cheating.
Thank you.
Nope, never did.
Would you appreciate it if you did?
Yep. Would have been great.
Would you still go to a concert?
No. Coldplay or any concert?
Coldplay.
No, I'm all set.
All set?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You did a great speech.
Thank you.
Kinsey, the sense of entitlement there is extraordinary. I mean, why would Chris Martin reach out to her? I mean, she's extraordinary. She had that sit down with Oprah Winfrey, just wild victim blaming and big noting herself, and now this.
It's giving Meghan Markle. I mean, Kristen, get a clue. Chris Martin, I mean, he's not dodging anything. He's actually currently making history. He's leading Coldplay's vision for the World Cup's first ever halftime show on the biggest stage in sports. I think he's got bigger fish to fry. But yeah, her posture there, the look on her face, the arrogance. I beg the paparazzi not to give this woman any more attention. Please don't turn her into another Markle. We've already closed the chapter on her. As far as we're concerned, no more kiss cam, for the love of God.
Exactly. And surely the last thing you would want would be Chris Martin to reach out to you if you want this media storm to die, because if anybody got wind of that, it would be a whole bunch of new headlines and more coverage and more scrutiny of what happened. So I don't know. I think this lady has kind of enjoyed the spotlight, as negative as it has been. She keeps putting herself out there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't sit down with Oprah Winfrey if you're trying to move forward and close a chapter. You sit down with Oprah Winfrey if you're gunning for a book deal or you're looking to get a reality show. So I think it's fair to say it's not the last we've seen of her. She loves that we just said her name, Kristen Cobble, whatever. And unfortunately, we're probably going to say it again.
Oh, dear. Kinsey Schofield, thank you.
All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it. It's been 3 hours and 36 minutes. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are a blessing. Love you guys. As always, love each other. Pray for each other. I voted for Trump. No regrets for voting for Trump. I didn't want no war, but it is what it is. But at least, it's making us strong. And not us weak at all, making us strong. They keep on saying death to America, so that's ended. Stop giving them money. No, end that shit. And Trump did it. Thank you, Trump. Yes. God bless America. I'll be back tomorrow for you guys. Thank you.